Let's see. Oh, we should have sound now.
We did all that with no sound.
Ah, the whole beginning with no sound. It was a, you know how Windows is. There was a selection that was wrong, which is kind of weird because we were just here and we didn't change anything, but you know. Okay, do we have sound now? I mean, it looks to me like we have sound now. Okay, 38 says we have sound. You want to go down the introduction now that we completely screwed up?
Hey everybody, we're back. We were here early. If you didn't catch this afternoon, we were here for a couple hours. And inside this 66 Dart, there is once again a motor. It is bolted to the bell housing. And after we were done streaming, someone, I won't say who, you have to guess, crawled underneath and did the torque converter bolts as well. We paid somebody else to do it.
You know where I was? I was getting cold, so I was sitting over in front of the.
Speaking of, here, stand on the cards.
In front of the wood stove with my feet up there because my feet got cold over here on the concrete. So I was sitting over there, and Kim says, "I thought we were leaving," and Kim goes, "I'm gonna hook up these bolts," and into the car she went. So she got them. You got them done. Wow. Okay. So what I was saying earlier was Bruce had said nobody here but us chickens, and I said us chickens are on the way to the shop. That was the last thing I said before we left the house.
Yeah, I'm not going to repeat what we said before.
Okay. Yeah, that's enough.
All right. So Bruce Culchin was in here right away. He knew it was going to happen, and he is here now. So I'm going to award him 3 points.
And he was the first one to alert us of no sound.
Yeah. And indirect. Oh, I see. That might be indirect connection.
Indirect. Indirect's been in here before. It was in here earlier, I think.
You get 2 points. Indirect.
Was
38 Racing, you get 2 points as well. And Azan, you get 2 points. Tim, welcome to the stream. Ray from 38 Racing, check out his channel. Welcome to the stream. Let's see who else we got here. Buddy Carfano is here. Welcome to the stream, buddy. All right. Well, as things start rolling.
And Olive's here now.
Oh, welcome to stream, Olive. We're back. We were here this afternoon for a while.
2 hours this afternoon.
And the motor's in the car.
We did, if you weren't here, we did 2 main things during that time. We weighed the engine.
Oh, I forgot we weighed the engine.
We weighed the engine, and I guess we didn't write it down, but it's all over the stream, so we'll have to go back and look. And then installed the engine. Oh, we're gonna.
Somebody was there. Someone who was here. What did the Slant 6 engine weigh?
Well, because we had to do some math. We weighed it with the engine stand because we put 3 race car scales under the engine stand. It was easy to do. And then afterwards, we pulled the engine stand off and just weighed the engine stand. And then
we weighed the intake and exhaust manifold logs.
So that was a subtraction. And then we weighed the intake exhaust, and that was an addition. So
what was our final answer?
Who was here? Somebody was here that must have seen
They all
that.
forget. They don't care.
So we have to go back and watch the live from this afternoon. It was within the first short period of the live this afternoon.
Crashes, Roadrunner Garage. Welcome to the stream. Are we taking back?
No, Olive was here. 436 with the stand. Okay, and then we did a subtraction.
Yeah.
And an addition. I don't remember. 38 Racing City. Didn't get to watch.
We're not taking bets this time because
yesterday was Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. Well, thank you. Yeah, here Valentine's Day is February 14th. So Ukraine and Turkey, it's whatever day it was there. Then, well, that's interesting. What it's like. Hey, uh, hey, Buff and everyone else. Sorry, I missed John. Oh, you missed John's. Yeah, you were busy. Uh, I called him right before John's, and that's Jay from What It's Like, and he builds furniture, and he was in the middle of building furniture, and couldn't make the live, I guess. But he's interested in going to No Name Nationals and racing his van, so I want him to kind of get in with the John's crowd
There
there.
was no major announcements tonight on John's stream.
No, there wasn't. He had his niece or somebody, a girl. It was, I don't know, she's
Oh yeah,
12.
she was trying to get some
She was 12,
subscribers.
and she had worked herself up to 570 something subscribers. And man, he announced her, put up a link to her channel, and she had 607 subscribers in no time. So she's probably a happy little girl there. So
KJ Kylie is back. Welcome to the stream.
hey, What It's Like, which is Jay, you're saying hi to 38 Racing. You just did a live, or not really a live, but a premiere tonight, which I still haven't watched. I said I would, but I was too much going on. I'll watch it when I get finished here. On 59 Chevys, and 38 Racing has a whole gaggle of 59 Chevys. He's the 59 Chevy guy. So, yeah, when you get to No Name Nationals, I'm sure you'll meet up with him. Oh, and there he is. Love the blue 59. Yeah, so, yeah, you've seen it. That's good. JB's here. I'm sorry, I took over from you.
It's okay. Welcome, JB. So we did great. We got the motor into the car, bolted to the bell housing, and I even did the torque converter bolts before we went back up to the house to take a rest.
So now, what did I?
That's excellent progress for one day.
What did I put on the? I can't see the thumbnail from here. I put something on there like the engine's in, or now we're bolting up the small stuff or something. Oh, it's right up there, live in the shop, installing all the parts. Because, you know, when you put the engine in, it looks like it's done, except there's all this stuff. Intake, exhaust.
But it's off the stand, and that's a big deal.
Yeah, which means the car's, it's jacked up. Which means when we jack it back down again, you jack it down, when we let it down, it'll be sitting at normal height again. The car will be sitting there level. That'll be good. So now all the work starts. Intake, exhaust, fuel, wiring, radiator, coolant hoses, all this stuff.
It's a lot of stuffs.
So when everybody puts their engine in and says, I'm 95% finished, 95% done, and then they start all the work.
The devil's in the details. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, isn't that right?
The good thing is this car is not a basket case. We know we had it running 2 weeks ago.
Oh, we know this car well.
Yeah.
And it's been on trips and.
Yeah, and we had it all back together not long ago, and there was a problem internal to the engine. The camshaft was not right, so we put a different camshaft in it, and now the motor's back in. It's different than trying to get something running that you haven't had any time to sort, never driven before, that kind of thing. Man, that's just like always a can of worms.
Bruce Colton, I've been busy. What time did you put in the car? What time? Oh, he retracted it. Probably got I would guess that was a typo, but I think
it was this afternoon between.
I think I know what he wants. Yeah,
2 and 4.
It was 2:15 is when we came on, and 4:15, and that's Central Time in the U.S. So yeah, we did the Sat. We came up here in the afternoon because it was so nice outside. 61 degrees in the middle of January. That's pretty nice. What it's like, that was a pretty cool car. Some were giving grief it wasn't perfect. I like showing cars in different states, conditions. It's a Survivor, yeah, 39,000 miles on a '59 Chevy. That's pretty cool. Buddy says hard part done, the rest is easy. Well, the heavy part's done, and the heavy part might be the hard part. Kim was having a lot of trouble lining up the engine and the transmission, and she lifted the transmission up a little bit and screwed around a little
You
bit.
know how I finally got the motor in there the right way I wanted it, where it
Locked
needed
right
to
in.
go?
Oh, what'd you do?
I the engine mount on this side, I put the nut on so that it couldn't come out of the K-frame, and then I lifted the engine so that it was pulling against that nut, and then I could rotate it around where I wanted. I just wiggled it back and forth, and the transmission just poof, fell right into place.
Okay, Bruce is asking. I've been busy. What cam? Okay, this is a big old story, but I'll try to keep it a little bit short. You know, we were going to get a cam from Comp Cams from Shane Polito, who everybody knows is what's the name he goes by?
I could tell the story fast.
Okay, you tell the story.
Okay. He told it in the first stream. I'll tell it now. You see, I'm concise. The day that we figured out the cam was bad, I went on Rock Auto. They have a cam, so I ordered a cam and lifter set from Rock Auto. Bam. Ordered it. Then we put up that video that we were working on the cam, and Professor P found out about it, and he said, oh, I'll get you a cam. I'll get you a good one. You know, we'll make the lobes will be good. It won't be crazy.
I'm going to break in here.
Go ahead.
Professor P, got to remember, he's a design engineer, one of the lead ones at Comp Cams and Edelbrock, and he is a Slant 6 aficionado from way back. So,
yeah.
So he knows
his stuff about Slant 6s, and he knows this build. You know, he knows it's automatic with a factory converter, and he knows it's a mild build, ported, that kind of stuff. He said, I got a great lobe design. I'll set you up. But it was during the Christmas holiday. And he said, I'm off till the 6th. I said, well, it's okay, because I got to take the motor out. So while we were waiting, we pulled the motor out. I took it all apart. It was a couple days worth of working here and there. And the weather wasn't so hot. And it was the holiday. We did our long stream for New Year's and everything. So, like, we had things to do. And on New Year's Day, the cam from Rock Auto showed up. So we just set it aside. And we waited. And the 6th came, and what did he say? He said the lifters from the DLC, the diamond-like coated lifters, will not be ready for the Slant 6 until April-ish. He doesn't know exactly, but not till April. So that was kind of a bummer, and we had to decide what we were going to do, and he was so busy. At the same time, he announced that program they're putting together with where you can buy stuff at a discount if you're part of the No Name Nationals group. So he was busy working on that and busy doing all the stuff after getting back from vacation. He just didn't have time to get to it. And we decided that we didn't want to wait anymore. And just put the cam we got from Rock Auto in there. We checked it out. We did the measurements on it. And it's a good cam. It'll be fine.
And we did a video on that, how to measure the cam to make sure that it's got the proper taper, and we'll get that.
Yeah, I'm still doing editing. It's we got a break yesterday, today, and tomorrow where it's not going to be super, 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 super cold. And I loaded the fireplace so the place would stay warm overnight, and we're gonna do this now while we have a window. So that's where we are with it.
Tommy Hamlin says he's back.
Welcome back,
Had
Tommy.
a few things. That's what we did. We had a few things to do, including taking a nap for about an hour.
You know what?
I couldn't believe it. I looked around the corner and you were out. I went,
I
oh
did. I fell
no,
asleep.
you're
I
out.
was gonna cook, but like I sat down and I was like, oh, I could fall asleep, and I thought about it, and I was like, well, I could use some sleep
I
because I
did
was up
both.
early this morning.
I cooked some vegetables and just enough for me. And oh, it's something you can't eat, broccoli. So I was eating that and then watching John, and then out I went.
I think the biggest problem here in the shop is the floor is so cold.
So I
Um,
was standing on the cardboard.
yeah, we're standing on cardboard because the concrete floor gets cold, and since heat rises, even when you run the heat, it takes.
It is warmer up by the ceiling. We know that because you climb a ladder, it's warmer.
If you lay on this floor on the 4th of July, it'll still be nice and cold.
KJ Kylie says, you guys ever buy from Parts Geek? You know, I never have on the automotive side. They have an aviation side, and I was just going to look it up. I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, but anyway, there's an aviation side to the Parts Geek, which I have bought a lot of stuff from over the years. But so
B&R Racing said, you know what I would buy from Parts Geek, and I just Rock Auto had a nice setup, and so I grabbed it from them. I see them in my offerings, and but no, I haven't tried them. So thank you for offering them as a suggestion because I didn't know anybody who had ever recommended them. Our break-in oil
yeah,
has been sitting in the house uh, in front of the heater vent. Uh, and if we do not plan to start the car tonight, we're going to take it back over to the house so it doesn't get. Because, yeah, I want it to flow real easy
well, and
on the
it
first
says
startup.
flow below 32. And it's not that cold in here.
It isn't. It's not cold in
And
here. So we're going to
and
make sure it's warm.
it's just the break-in oil. It's not going to stay in there for very long. So and then
Oh, I
we'll
didn't
run,
think of that.
and
Yeah.
then we're going to run. I don't know what you normally run, like 10W40 or something. I don't know what you normally run.
Yeah, 1030 or 1040 will run fine in it.
Oh, 10W30, right? Okay. So yeah, hey, those engines originally, I remember uh, the '60s real well. So the multi this oils, there just weren't many of them. There may have been, but all I remember really was straight 20, straight 30, straight 40. Geez, my '64 Ford, I used to run straight 50 racing oil in it, but it was a pretty loose engine. So and I was in Southern California or Central California where the temperatures are really mild. So uh, I probably should have run something less.
So the good thing about this motor is that it's very fresh. It's the rings are tight. The not tight, but I mean they're not worn out. The bearings, like the rod bearings, are all good, and it has new gaskets and things like that. So it shouldn't burn or like. There's no reason that we need to run extra thick oil in it for just regular driving. So I can run a conventional oil. I don't have to run anything super thick. Usually I'm dumping 2050 in because it's leaking so bad that it's like why dump the thin stuff in? But or I'm fighting low oil pressure. But I don't think that's going to be a problem with this motor for a long, long time.
I want to respond to a couple of comments. The last live we did, which was just a few hours ago, it's like 6 hours ago. You're here in the afternoon. Man, I feel like I'm going to lose my voice. uh, is somebody made a comment here? I just told you who it was before we came on. It was Raining Slant 6 and a big long name.
Chance Cannonballs. Go ahead.
Yeah. He said somewhere back here in the background, he noticed we had a dead blow hammer or plastic hammer or something on the floor behind the tool chest next to a radiator hose. And I see it. He noticed that it dropped off the table back there. So I can see that we're not going to be able to reach that without some kind of
Broom handle.
broom handle or something. So
Hey, thanks for finding our hammer.
thanks for noticing that. don't know if he's here. The second one was I did a short over on the wire wheel cleaning gaskets off. And I got a lot of good comments on it, but somebody said, I'm surprised he has any fingers left. Well, I've been doing this for a long time, like 50 years. I've been cleaning gaskets like that. And a lot of times small parts, like thermostat housing or something, just buffing the gasket off of it. But, oh, we have no fear. We have no fear.
I know One-Eyed Cat is here as well.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to the stream, Dubster and One-Eyed Cat.
So what I learned about using a wire wheel, and I had a big diameter wire wheel, like 11 inch or something, on a 2 horsepower motor in the radiator shop for cleaning off brass tanks. The reaction has to be, if something catches, you let go of it. That's the reaction, and you practice that. And I let go of stuff numerous times, and it just take off and smash into the wall and destroy the part. And you'd rather destroy the part than your hand, because if you try to hang on to something that snags, it'll suck you right in. So you just get that in your head for years and years and years. The reaction is let go and jerk your hands back. And so I've never demonstrated that because I really don't want to destroy a part, but that's the reaction. And I should have mentioned that in the short, but I didn't.
Max Wedge, Dick Dastardly is here, and Mike N is here. Wow, a bunch of people coming in after 10 minutes or something. That's cool.
Does the slimy make slimy noises?
Are you guys all coming from the same place at the same time, or is it just...
They're just rolling in here. The cleanup crew, the evening.
Thanks for stopping in, everybody.
Mrs. One-Eyed Cat, and...
Round 2, ding, 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 ding.
Oh, do we have to have a round 2, ding, ding, ding,
ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding. Round 2.
Earlier.
We were here earlier this afternoon.
6 hours ago, I had that going because Kim was over here singing something that, who put up there? Somebody put up some song. Might have been Dougster or
Tim's back.
Dean Stevenson. And so she was out back here dancing, singing, and I turned on the lights. Interesting part of the video, I guess.
Well, the motor was in there.
The motor was in there. Yeah.
Just random from Mike N. Okay, you just found them. We popped up.
And
as a suggested video.
Olive just popped in. Oh yes.
Hey Olive, everybody's showing up.
Everybody's showing up.
The gang's all here. Thanks everyone for coming by. Yeah, we're excited that we got the motor in. We got one more day. I think tonight I can get it together enough that we might be able to start it.
We don't have a camera over there. How long does it take to hook up a
camera 2?
Camera 2, so we can show everybody.
Okay.
Well, I guess I took a picture of it.
I can do that.
And it was on the thumbnail, but yeah, that was...
Some of it depends on how much more time I spend lollygagging around. Oh, and Dougster's reminding me about She's Lump. I was singing and a-dancing. She's in my head.
Where's this? I missed that.
At the very bottom.
At the bottom. Okay, because I'm still not down there yet. Patrick Sullivan's here. Yeah, I've lit it up twice. Patrick Sullivan has. That's pretty cool. If you lit it up because you gave us some money, probably, and that is appreciated.
Yes, thank you very much. Tommy Hanlon is, being complacent around a bench grinder can shorten your piano playing career. I have hurt my hands so many times in my life, and yet they are still good to me. They still do the things I need them to do.
I learned the reaction is just get away from it.
Don't wear gloves when you're using a grinder.
Never wear gloves around some kind of rotating machinery. That'll suck your hands in and go, man. Yeah. I worked in a place where I was managing a place, and it was
got Top Chat. We're supposed to have live chat.
Oh, we popped in and didn't. Oh, that's something I should bring up. Up at the top, there's a thing that says Top Chat and Live Chat. And if you're in Top Chat, what happens is it allows YouTube to censor the chat. And if you put Live Chat, there's like a warning. Remember, guard your privacy and all this kind of stuff. But what it does, it allows all the chat to come through. So if you haven't selected live chat and you don't want Google to censor your chat, click on live chat. And the same thing when you make comments on people's videos, your comments look like they disappear because somebody else, some algorithm decides whether your comment stays there. And if you change it from top comments to, I don't know, whatever the other selection is, then your comments show up.
Well, be careful with these things too.
Oh, no neckties, no long hair behind you, tied up, something. Anyway, I was managing this aircraft place, doing everything. And we had a big drill press with a big ass motor on it. And somebody was over there using that, and they wrapped their hand all around it because it got sucked in with a glove, and they broke their thumb, made a mess out of it, went to the hospital. So I gave a briefing on that the next day. Never, never, never have gloves on around rotating machinery. And wouldn't you know it, the next day after I gave the briefing in the morning, somebody else did it, broke their thumb, broke something up here in their hand, ended up in the hospital. And the next briefing the next day was, if I catch somebody with gloves on in here around rotating machinery, you are fired. This is your warning. This is your warning. You don't get another warning. So I was adamant about that. So, yep.
One Eye Cat says, I have disco lights under the carport for Wendy's Valiant. They're awesome, and they're better when it snows. That is something really nice about the snow. It makes the lights glisten. Extra pretty.
Mike N. Gloves using a table saw cost a friend of two of his fingers. He was an experienced woodworker for decades. Yep. I couldn't believe somebody wrapped their hand around that drill press twice. In 2 days, 2 people had done it. Yikes. And especially after a stern warning after the first one.
Wow.
Oh, I have a funny story about a friend that started a PTO shaft one time. Can't tell it here. That's Dick Dastardly. Okay. Okay. With 45 seconds, we've got ads coming in, so I'll try to keep my mouth shut right after the ads come in until everybody clicks out of them.
Be careful with your power equipment. Grinders, anything with a wheel that spins is just the most useful tool is also the most dangerous tool. And the tool that you're most familiar with is probably pretty dangerous too because you get complacent. Yes, you have to respect the powers. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Okay, you're taking off?
Just like that grinder, the first thing you do when you get a grinder is you take the guard off because you know it's not going to save you.
That's the other thing with a wire wheel. After the ads, I'm going to talk about the wire wheel one more time.
Okay.
But ads are here.
Okay. I'm going to start doing little things. Because the time, it will get away from me. It always seems like you have a lot of time. Suddenly. Oh, and you wanted me to hook up the second camera. I can do that. I think I can do that. I wonder if I brought the...
Okay, maybe the ads are over. Here's the thing with a wire wheel on a grinder. Take the guard off. And that way, if you let go of something, it'll go flying. If you have that guard on there and something catches in that wire wheel, it'll suck it in there. And it'll lodge in there, and maybe the grinder will stop, maybe it won't. It's just bad news. The better thing is leave that guard off, and if something catches, just pull your hands away. Just let it fly and get out of the way. And if you know you're going to do that, it's just a reaction. It's one of those things that your reaction has to be not to think about it, just to pull your hands away instantly. No, yeah. Leave the work rest off the wire. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, the work rest, the guard, everything. They keep putting them back on at work, yeah, because somebody's an idiot. I hate to say that about supervisors that might think that's the right thing to do. Probably taught to put guards on everything, but that is, with a wire wheel, that's the worst thing you can do. Buddy car found a wooden wire wheel gouge in aluminum part. Well, you have to be careful with it, like thermostat housings. I did a thermostat housing. I did this all through my years of radiator shops. Pull a thermostat housing out, the gasket's all stuck to the housing. I just go over there and watch the gasket come off and just lightly hit it with the wire wheel. It was okay. And then if it wasn't so good, take a piece of sandpaper and like a piece of 80 or something, run the part across the 80. You think OSHA says it has to be there? They're idiots. They're idiots. I just can't believe they do that. Man. So grinders are a no-no. What about hoagies, submarines, or a po' boy? When I went in the military, I didn't know what a hoagie was, because that's an Eastern term, I guess. And we were out in California, and there was a place on base where I'd go in there, and they had hoagies. I didn't know what a hoagie was. And so I ordered one. I got this big old sandwich. It was pretty good. But then when I got back east years later, that was a normal word, was hoagie. What else was... Yeah, we always called them submarines. And po' boys, that's south, but I kind of knew what those were. What's the other one that's back east that's not hoagies? There's another one. Another name that I've used. Grinders, I guess. Yeah, grinders make me nervous, especially wire wheels on them. I only have one eye left to give. Oh, no. Dick Dastardly, really? Something else I learned about wire wheels back when I was probably about 20 years old was I'd get one on my 2 horsepower motor and with I think it was a 11-inch wire wheel, big bastard. It would get so it didn't cut so well. So I flipped the wire wheel over, turned it the other direction. Man, it didn't cut real well then, but it started spitting out wires and it's sticking you and sticking your face. So I learned never change the direction of a wire wheel. I learned that one the hard way. Yeah, you have to have, I don't know. I know OSHA wants everybody with no common sense to be able to never get hurt. And the problem is that you have to have some common sense to work around this stuff. Dougster says, my friend has a Packard inline 8 crank and flywheel that's going to be his grinder pedestal. We have our grinder pedestals, those big steel. 38 Racing will probably know what it is. What's the big thing that's those discs that farmers pull? Those big old discs. I've got 2 of those, and I welded like a piece of 5-inch tubing and then a little table on the top to mount the grinder to it. And those discs are really heavy. That makes a really good stand. Yeah, Buddy says that the intake Kim's using doesn't look like a Super 6 on the fender.
It is not.
Here's the deal. When we decided to go to the stock cam and not the new cam, we decided to put everything back the way it was with the 1-barrel carburetor. Just get the thing running, get it broken in, get this car out of here so we can drive it and we can get other cars in here. Then we'll have another time with the car in here to do the Super 6 manifold and all that, because that's going to require some new linkage and it's going to extend the project. We came in here to fix an oil leak. We figured it'd take a day. And here we are 3.5 months later with project creep that's gone so far that we've got to get this car running. Yeah. And so we're going to put
an epic saga and we're done.
We're going to keep the Super 6 or the single map, everything the way it was.
So
it starts and runs, and
starts and runs.
we can drive it out of
Right.
here.
So we're not here fussing with getting it going.
I'm missing a bunch of chat here.
Okay.
Patrick Sullivan, grilled cheese. We call cheese toasties locally. When we travel and say that, people have no idea. Huh. Burn blast. Yeah, I've never heard that. Burn blaster. Wire wheels on a bench grinder aren't bad. Wire wheels on a 4.5-inch angle grinder are dangerous as hell. Oh, I believe that. One-eyed cat. Disc, harrow, and a plow. Yeah, disc, harrow, I guess. That's the word I couldn't think of. Disc blade works well. Yeah, those things are really heavy. And I got a couple of them from a friend of mine in Yuma. Threw them in my van in one trip out here, and I was going to use them as
about 30 inches diameter.
Well, you can see one right behind my shoulder, one right here, right above where I'm pointing. You can see that disc welded to that 5-inch tube with a grinder on top of it. And then we've got another one just like that with a vise on top of it. Let's see here. PNR, when I was at Caterpillar 2005, Oswego, Illinois, we had to wear gloves on my line working with spinning tools. Why did they do that? That's terrible. I mean, I'd much rather get my finger nicked with something than get my whole hand sucked into it. Dick Desley, I've had cutting wheels explode more than once. Yeah, and we were all here, well, a bunch of us were here on New Year's Eve in the U.S. It was already New Year's Day in Australia, and Tavo had one cut his hand wide open and had to go to the hospital. And then he was on the chat in the hospital. Doctor told him he had to get off. Wanted his full attention because they were doing stitches on him. So yeah, it was live right here. Somebody chopped themselves with a grinder wheel. Doug, sir, I might be getting a roach cam from a 400 Cummins. It's about 6 inches. I might make 6 inches, probably 6 feet. It might make a mailbox post. Patrick Sullivan, get her done. DNR, I was a shop steward. One 18-year-old guy got his glove stuck in a power air clamp, got dragged down the assembly line screaming in pain. See, with a glove. That's just, I can't believe safety regulations make you wear gloves in that kind of situation. Whoever writes that stuff, make them go operate machinery with gloves on. Let them get sucked into it once. Stupid people that write this stuff. Let's see, Max Wedge. Somebody was grinding with a 6-inch cutoff, 4.5-inch grinder. Disc exploded, and half of it lodged in drywall 30 feet up. Ever see a pickup guy with a disc lodge in his cheek? You know who did that? That we all know, or most of us know, is Uncle Tony, UTG. He got one through his face, and that guy will never go to the doctor. And he went to the doctor because they put about 30 stitches in his face. And he doesn't like those things. Mike N, we're supposed to get 3 to 5 inches of snow in South Louisiana on Wednesday. Yeah, it's supposed to get cold here. I didn't know we were supposed to get snow. I don't know if we're supposed to get that or not. Yeah, we're going to have one of these cold things that comes down here. I noticed single digits here coming up. Yeah, on Sunday it said single digits. I want to keep up with the chat, but I want to look at this too. What's our... Oh, come on. Yeah, we aren't getting any snow predicted, but on Sunday it's supposed to be 8 degrees. Then get warmer after that. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Yeah, snow in Louisiana. That ought to be fun. Don't go anywhere. People there don't know how to drive in the snow. Wide category. Buddy, what was this? Seems my Valiant is in the middle of a 5-year plan. Dean Stevenson's here. Good evening, or good day down there. Good day, I guess, means we're leaving. No, we're not leaving. An engine is just 290 parts. The whole car is just 18,000. What could possibly go wrong? BNR, one process I had to drill with a huge radial arm drill press. 1-inch holes drilled 4 inches deep. Well, that had to be fun. 1-inch holes. I bet that thing turns slow. Dick Dashley says, Berm, one exploded on my brother and hit him in the stomach. Black and blue, the size of a softball. One got the tips of my fingers. Burn blaster. I had angle grinder grab the string on my jacket, hood strings. Oh, these things, these get tucked in. If I'm working in a shop, these are always tucked in. Tucked in my, inside my neck. Caterpillar managed it. Well, I don't know what that says. Oh, sucked ass. Yes, but the guard on angle grinders are not just to stop sparks flying. The discs are rated for different RPMs, and the wrong disc fitted to the wrong angle grinder can disintegrate. Well, the guards on a disc is a whole lot different than a guard on a wire wheel. Terry Barker's here. Good evening. Patrick Sullivan. Yep, sub-zero temps. Here soon as well. KJ Kylie, never try to sharpen a lawnmower blade while it's running. Let's see, how would you do that? JB, 1 to 3 inches in Austin. I believe it when I see it. Tommy Hanlon, yep, those zip cut wheels are lethal. If they let go, it's all over in milliseconds. Boat Anchor, you're here. Good evening. Man, I haven't done anything with that CB radio yet. I've got to get my antenna outside my window. I guess I can use that as a base station for a little bit. It'll probably go into my new car, which is my 78 Mercury, the Z7. But I got to pull a dash all apart to put a heater in it. So no sense in installing a radio before I take the dash apart. Everybody's saying good day to Dean.
Nice. Hi, Dean.
Good day. That's what you say on the radio in an airplane when they hand you off to somebody else. They say good day. That means they're done with you. Good day. KJ, I only do that with a curb. With a curb. Okay, I missed something. Oh, something like guiding. I don't know. Being on a lathe will kill you if you get sucked in. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, nobody. You know, people working with tools like that have to have common sense and have to have experience. And
it's still dangerous.
Still dangerous.
People who do it all the time get hurt.
And that's the other thing is complacency. You know, that's what happens with anything. Complacency. But there's reactions. Like when I'm working with a grinder with a wire wheel on it, the reaction is let go. Let go and move your hands back. And that keeps you from getting hurt. You try to hang on to anything and control it when it gets caught. You're on the losing side of that. Coworker stuck a hand in a snowblower to clean chute last. Why? Oh my God. Dean Stevens, you know they're placing a 17-degree wedge in a 30-degree slant makes 47 degrees of tilt, right? Colt Racing transmissions here.
Hey, John.
What is that? Oh, that's the front of a car. I think. Is that what that is? Right above all those red marks? Kim?
Looks like a radio.
Or is that a radio?
Oh, that does look like a car. Nice. Cool.
Buff, what type of antenna mount will you be using on the Zephyr? Mag mount or edge clamp? Oh, I was telling Kim, I said, this is my car now. I'm not living anybody else's dreams, and I may drill holes in the car. I may put 2 antenna mounts and a pair of like center loaded, maybe base loaded, co-phase antennas on each side. I don't know yet. My favorite antenna is a 102-inch whip right in the center of the roof, but you can't drive that around here. Tennessee, they put wires, like electrical connections to people's homes from the power pole swinging down like this across into people's yards. And I have to be careful, even with my van with the roof rack on it, that I'll catch on somebody's power. I can't drive across our yard with my van because I'll catch on the power line, and that's as high as they'll put it. So that big whip it looks stupid, and it was okay in 1970s when everybody's doing that kind of stuff, but I won't do that to my car. But I might put a set of co-faced whips on it. I don't know. Magnet mounts are nice because you can pull them right off, but they don't work very well. Hi, John. It's a guest to see you. Chicago. Baby. Chicago. Dougster. I don't know what all that is. What is all that? See, I have a total misunderstanding of some things people write because I don't know all what it is.
Don't confuse them.
BNR, as a shop steward, I fought with Caterpillar daily. Used to tell me you don't know sheep. Told them I can outwrench any of you clowns. Yeah. That's one thing in the airplane shop. It was a non-union shop. It was a small place. We had probably at the busiest we probably had 20 people in there, and the boss would back me up on safety stuff usually, and I would. There's a couple of times he didn't, but mostly he would. My office was up above, and I could see the whole plant. And one day I was in there doing something, and I see a guy go by my window, and he's reaching up like this with wiring, working on the ceiling. And he was some guy, a contractor that was there putting something in. And he had one of those extendo forklifts with a pallet on it. And he was standing on the pallet, and they were driving the forklift along, and he was running wiring up higher than the second story. Man, I about blew a gasket. And my boss goes, "I don't worry, he knows what he's doing." I'm like, "Are you kidding?" If he falls off that, he's going to sue you out of everything. But other than that, he usually backed me up on the safety stuff. Oh, Dougster says that's an Edsel. Not the V, but the toilet seat. Everybody says the Edsel now. They go, they call it a horse collar. Not back then. They didn't call it a horse collar. Everybody called it a toilet seat. But I guess you're not allowed to say that on the internet. But I don't know. I say it. Let's see. 38 Racing, 9-foot width bumper mount. No, never. Because then I guess if you want a really weird pattern. Because think about this: the car is a ground plane. Now you got the antenna down real low, so the car is blocking part of it, but it makes an enormous uh, directional antenna, kind of like if the bumpers, let's say the antenna's on the left rear, it's an enormous, big, goofy looking uh, uh, directional and directional antenna off the right front of the car. So I guess if you want to talk off the right front of the car, I guess uh, that's why I like the co-phased antennas here, because going down the road, it's very directional off the front and the rear of the car, which is pretty good when you're talking to truckers and stuff going down the road. It's not quite as good for, it's not omnidirectional, which the whip, the 102-inch whip in the center of the roof is. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I remember the bumper mounts. People had them on their trucks and on their vans. I don't know. A lot of people like the way it looked, I guess. Oh, what else here? DNR, you fired brain, you man. Yeah, I'm a shop steward of Caterpillar Building B, #1 union contract, Michigan. I am unfireable. Boat anchor. Just get a Wilson 5000 mobile antenna. That's what I got. Okay, I've seen that, but I don't know. Is that screw on somewhere or clamp on, or is it a magnet? I don't know. Good times. Dean Stevenson. Oh, a horse collar. Edsel. No, it's a toilet seat. Who puts a collar on a horse? It's a toilet seat. Everybody used to call it Edsel. Oh, yeah, it's a toilet seat. And that was pretty much what it looked like. What were they thinking at Ford when they made that? They took, that whole front clip bolts right onto a 57 or a 58 Ford. I mean, you could have taken an Edsel and put the front of a 58 Ford on it. Would have looked better. Drilling holes in car not allowed. Can't take off. Change your mind. Well, you can. Take some welding and some priming and some paint work.
It's his car.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, my 64 Ford, I drilled holes right in the center of the roof and put a 102-inch whip on it. It worked so well, but that was back in the CB days when people thought it looked cool, now. Yeah. It has to have a couple of meters for matching antennas. I'll never use. Really? I got a recently purchased used SWR combination SWR power meter so I've got several SWR meters, but I have that one, which is really a nice thing. I don't remember what the brand is. It's in it's in the house. If you buy it, we'll throw in a free horse. Yeah, if you ride the horse, you'll look more cool than you will if you're driving your Edsel. Of course, now the Edsel's pretty cool just because it's old and it's still running. Who's the guy online that has all the Edsels, the Edsel front ends? The body shop guy with the body shop lady in Utah. Oh, what's his name? Somebody will know here. He's got a great YouTube channel. Kim, what's the guy's name?
In Utah?
In Utah. Guy with the... I can't pull names up. The body shop... yeah. It's like the body shop school. He was in Texas. He had all those Edsel front ends out front, and then he moved to Utah. I don't know if he still has the Edsels on display. I think he has them in his inside his shop now. He wanted to move to Utah, to where all the southwestern Utah or southeastern Utah. Let's see here. I'm getting behind on the chat. Uh, let's see. Here we are. Direction 38 racing direction antenna. Dad had a big H-looking antenna on the house with a rotator. Well, yeah, and there you want a directional antenna. And I knew people with cars that would go park on a mountaintop, which I used to do that too. And then you wanted something directional so you could move the car around circles, and that worked really well with my co-phased antennas. But it was directional off the front and the back, so I kind of liked that. Oh, Dean Stevenson says seat joke. Autocorrect, correct with a K. Didn't do it right. Oh, Boat Anchor says it's a magnet mount. What about the ground? How do you see when you have a magnet mount? How do you ground that? It grounds down through the coax. I don't know. Does it work well? I've always found that magnet mounts didn't work as well, but maybe I just don't have the right magnet mount. I have a magnet mount in the house right now that I had on the car, and it was so bad I bought another one that worked better. But then when I got crashed in my car, it got sheared off, and then I couldn't get the door open, and I couldn't get the coax out. And I just left it in it. So the antenna had already been sheared off. So most Kiwis had some significantly less polite jokes and jive. Dick Dashley, when I was a kid, my dad had a Moonmaker beam and a 500-watt linear. You can talk to Florida from PA when the skip was rolling. Yeah, see that a lot of people are doing that. I've looked at Moonrakers, but trying to find one now, they're antennas aren't the strongest thing in the world. Most of them get beat up. But I could build a flat side, a Yagi type antenna, but then I've got to have a more substantial structure to put it on and rotate it and all that. There's a realistic SWR meter with a dummy load on it. Yeah, I need a good dummy load. I don't have a good dummy load right now. Coolest part of my time at Caterpillar, Aurora, Illinois. All the old timers came up to me. High fives. Okay, we got ads coming in a minute. Paintification. Yeah, see, that's the thing with my car. If I drill holes in it, at that point, I know if I want to take the holes away, you know, it's paint, it's body work and paint time. But it's my car, and if I want to enjoy it with the antennas bolted down so they're grounded properly, I don't know. It's not done yet. What it's like, everyone gives Edsel grief over the horse collar, but Bugatti Veyron, John, yeah, they got a toilet seat up front too, and there are even more toilet seat shaped on the Bugatti. Okay, I'll shut up for a minute while the ads go through. Okay, and while the ads were on, I stepped away and got my drinks, drink mixes. Okay, let's see here. Dougster, on a cloudy, calm day, we would catch Skip in Dad's rig. Little boy was from Alabama. Talking, you could hear his breath hit the mic. Oh, yeah, I used to have good. Well, I got a power mic now. I just don't have it. I got it hooked to a base station here that's not a sideband radio, but well, it's one that sits on my desk on our desk during the live shows on whatever night it is, Tuesday night when we do our live show. We've got that D104 sitting there. But back in the day, I never had a D104. I used Turner Plus 3s. Turner Plus 3 is a great power mic. Let's see here. Patrick Sullivan. I had to look up the 58 Edsel just to remind me. First impressions, that's one fugly car. Yeah, it was Ford put a lot of effort into that. I mean, they had this huge investment on their part, and it wasn't just the car. They set up a whole dealer network for those things. So it was a big deal. And, the big downturn in the economy right then, of course, they couldn't have predicted that. So the timing just sucked for Ford. And then they tried to save it with the Comet. The Comet originally was not a Mercury Comet. It was a Comet. It was an Edsel project. And in the all the previews to that car, they said Edsel on them. And when the Comet came out, it said nothing on it other than Comet. Didn't have Edsel written on it, but didn't have Mercury either. And they sold them in 1960 in the Mercury dealers. And by 61, they said Mercury Comet on them. But that was supposed to be an Edsel. Probably would have saved Edsel because they had the, an economy car. But Edsel was such a joke by then and was such a disaster. I think they just wanted to get rid of it. See, 38 race. Oh, wait a minute. I missed something. Grumpy old Tavo's here. Good evening. Or hello, Tavo. And Kim's over there says, welcome to the stream. What it's like, the Senior Series Citation Corsair got 1 year only 410 cubic inch, made around 375 horsepower, and they would move. Yeah, I bet they did, because that body basically had Y blocks in it up until 58. So 58 came out. They got the new big block Ford, which is the FE engine, and then in that 410. 38 racing. The Moonraker is that single fiber pole type. No, the Moonraker was a quad. It had horizontal. It was a Yagi. You know what a Yagi is? It looks like a traditional TV antenna where you have a whole row of things sticking out like this. Looks like what's a Yagi look like? It's got a bunch of horizontal things on a boom. But the Moonraker had them both directions, had vertical and horizontal ones, and the back one was a reflector that had a wire around it. So what would happen is you could change between vertical polarity and horizontal polarity, and it was directional. So you had to have a rotator on it, and yeah, that was a pretty cool antenna. A lot of people had Moonrakers back then, but I don't know if I doubt if they still make them, but you probably could buy one, find somebody that has one. But you could make one. I mean, it wouldn't be that hard. And there's a lot of antennas out there that are that tight, but they're not. You'd mount them horizontally, so they're polarized horizontally for shoot and skip. And I don't know. I don't know. It's like CB radio is kind of fun, but cars right now are a little more fun. But as I get older, I may not be driving as much. So I always wanted these radios in my car, and now I'm thinking I'm not driving anywhere near as much. I'm not going down the road like 2 or 3 days at a time, thousands of miles, which I did a lot. CB radio is kind of nice then, but now I have to go get in the car to use the CB, and I'm not sure I want to do that. So maybe I use it as a base station, get a power supply, and run it on put up a directional antenna. And I'm out here, we're out in the country where, it's unlikely we'll see people complaining about the way it looks or something stupid, What it's like, yeah, it's an acquired taste, kind of a car, but yeah, that's the Edsel. Dougster. Oh, Tavo. What did I miss that Tavo said? I don't know. Patrick Sullivan. I made a long wire antenna up in my attic, tuned for the 10-meter band. Works very well. More contacts, West Coast. So I assume you're a ham. Patrick Sullivan. Yeah, that's something I want to go get that license. I'm not even sure I'll ever operate the ham bands, but I have a radio that I listen to occasionally, but I don't have a good antenna for my ham radio. I have a Yaesu 707, if you know what that is. Let's see. The car found uncle got ticket talking on a CB. Cop told him same as a phone, has to be hands free. Yeah, but the cop can drive around with a microphone. Just hold the mic down lower. Get a power mic, hold it down lower. These assholes. You know, for 50 years we talked on CB radios. Nobody crashed because they're CB radios. But now it's like it's a big deal. And I can understand why they don't want people messing around with phones. Because you see people, they got the phone this close to their face and they're poking and I don't know what they're doing. They smash into something. But that's different than just pushing a button and talking, you know. Don't ever put the battery from the power mic in your mouth to see if it's dead. Shocking experience. You know, our dean verbalized abuse. The norm at Caterpillar. I gave it back. Tabo, not working on the car. This horrible 100 freedom degrees outside. Oh, nice day. What's the humidity like? Not going to guess the temp in the tin shed. Yeah, if it's low humidity, 100's really comfortable, especially if you're in the shade. But if the humidity's up there, that can be miserable. Dean, I did an import. Dean says, I did an import clean on an Edsel citation. It had been fitted with non-standard 226 I6. It ended up Mongol Mob gang at oh, I gotta get a cough drop. Yeah, I didn't get one soon enough. Now I'm gonna have a sneezing fit. I'm sorry.
Come over and sit by the fire.
No, I'm okay. I'm warm. It's my throat's dry and I'm not doing anything. Instead of getting a cough drop, I was sipping my drink, which is the wrong answer. Oh man. What it's like, Edsel citation with a 226 inline almost seems sacrilege. Yeah, but you know what? It'll bolt right up with the Ford mounts. I bet that just goes right in there. What it's like, the 410 is one of those magic engines. Is that the one they called the E475? The one, and they called it the 475 because that was the torque, the pound feet of torque. It's called love, Brian, when you purchase a meaningful dialogue. JB, normal is a setting on the dryer.
Yes.
Boat anchor, what brand of base CB do you have? Kim, what was that? What was that base CB I had? I think it's a Midland. It's an ancient old radio. In fact, when I got it, I thought it was a 23 channel, but it's not. It's 40 channel. We couldn't get it to work. It didn't come with a mic. So then I got that D104 and hooked it up, and it still didn't work. So then I suspected something. Oh, it would key up, but we couldn't talk. So we took the D104 apart, and one of the wires, one of the wires for the to the battery or something was disconnected. We had to fix a wiring harness inside the mic. Then it worked great. Okay, I'm taking pictures of my screen here. And that's so I can remember Patrick Sullivan's call sign. That number he put up there is an amateur radio call sign. Okay, and you're a technician. Okay, that's what I'm going to do is I got it. But see, you know, the way I am, I go get the tech license. I'm not going to be happy with that. The very first thing I'm going to do is start studying for the general class. Just because that's what I'll do, you know. And I don't know if I'll even use the technician license. I may. And then I got a friend here who wants me to learn the code, because he's a guy that likes to go out on the, what do they call it, parks on the air. He's got a YouTube channel. What the heck is his? Now I'll think of it. But he goes out there, parks on the air, and he and his wife sit there, and they both copy code really well. And he sits there, parks on the air with code. And I can't think of his. I can't think of his name. I'm sorry. I'm not keeping up with. I'm sorry. I'm missing some of the comments. I fell into shop steward on the board of 5,000 workers, building B, none volunteer. I signed up, only one. Took over for Black Chicago past outlaw. Took over for Black Chicago past outlaw street racer. I'm not sure what all that is. I've never worked in a situation with well, I did a nuclear power plant. Uh, everybody was union out there except security, and I was working security. So they became union after I left. That was an interesting job, the security at nuclear facility. I worked the night shift, which is a small shift. We had 85 officers out there, and it was we were like a very remote site, and we were like a police force out there. Uh, and our job was to enforce federal law for a nuclear facility. It's pretty interesting, but not really what I should have been doing. I should have been doing something mechanical. I moved on to the aircraft industry. Well, actually, more car stuff and aircraft industry. Dean Stevenson, I was a place fitter on an import. Place fitter, import. Even had the weird side pancake air cleaner. 1904 glass bowl Holly. Okay. Tavo, no humidity buff, clear blue skies, nothing to filter the sun on the bare tin. Yeah, I worked like that in Arizona. It was normally out there in the summertime. Well, it'll be 100 Fahrenheit in Yuma by early in the springtime. During the middle of summer, it'll be. I remember we did everything by sea out there for because we were flying, and that's just how we did flight plans. So it'd be 50 C or 51 C, which is what 122 Fahrenheit. A lot of times, and I'd be outside, and the thing is, I just wear a hat, and I keep my hat wet. I always had bottles of water, drinking water, drinking water. And as soon as my hat was dry, I'd pour more water and put it on my head. Within 10 minutes, my hat would be dry again. So that evaporation out of my hat would keep my head cool. And then I'd always pour water down my back, so my shirt would have evaporation, and just drink tons of water. And anytime I wasn't working, we had shade structures. I'd step under this shade structure, but a lot of times I was out on the blacktop working. But I got used to it, and I don't know. I I, I enjoy hot weather, so we had people from back east come out there, and you could tell they come out there and they're wearing their shorts and their little t-shirts, and within a day or two they're beet red, and all they want to do is leave. You go, come out here, have long sleeves on, big loose long sleeves, white t-shirt or very light tan t-shirt, and big hat, and drink a lot of water, and long pants, because if you wear shorts, you're going to be burnt to a crisp, but that's what they do. John I worked next to said, "What hey kid, you're working too fast, making me look bad. Hey, you look like street racing and drag racing. Aren't you glad we cleaned up the ozone level since Antarctica, 1985 low?" Hmm. Dudster says that the California law is if the CB radio is bolted down to a vehicle, it's safe to use. Handheld radios are ticketable. Really? That's amazing. Sounds like California. So a microphone's okay, but a microphone with a cord is okay, but a microphone without a cord is not okay. I remember one time my 64 Ford had manual steering, but I did some work to it, changed ratios and stuff. So it was a fast ratio manual, if you can believe that. So it was a bit tough to turn if you were going slow. And one time I was talking on a CB radio and I had to turn, and I turned and the cord wrapped around the steering column. And then I was in trouble because, it was just a mess. I had to pull over and straighten it out. I remember that happened once. But that is kind of interesting. Patrick Sullivan, I had a desire to go extra class, but my dad passed AKA Elmer. Oh, your dad passed. Oh, I see. And he was Elmer is an older guy that's a amateur radio operator. I it's one of those things that I have some aptitude for electronics, but I haven't pursued it that much. So I have to study and think it out. When I took aptitude tests, my mechanical stuff I aced them. I always aced them. The electronics, I didn't quite ace it, but it was really close. But I never pursued that. So I know I can do that kind of work, but I'm 70 years old, so maybe I'm on the backside of learning curve. I don't know. I know I can't remember stuff as well, but I do it just to prove I can do it. 38 Racing. I still remember our old radio license from 50 years ago. That's not good, KJ Kylie. What's that? Oh, giant lithium battery factory is on fire in California right now. Really? Is the whole state going to burn down?
Might.
And yet you didn't detain any aliens at all, Buff. No, we didn't talk to the aliens. Dick Dashley, Dad would come across the PA system at church bingo and neighbor's TV when he cranked up his CB radio. Yeah, they used to call it TV interference. And if you didn't have things right, that would happen. There's ways to prevent that. But you got to know the problem exists. Of course, today, people are using, most people don't have antennas out there trying to pick up TV that's anywhere near the frequency or a what do you call it? A harmonic of that frequency. Oh, they're telling me you're lining up the manifold and I'm not paying attention. Do you need help?
No, I don't.
She says she doesn't need help.
Could have used a little help, but you were in the middle of telling the story.
Yes, Elmers are older hams who mentor newer hams. Yeah, Elmers. It's now 529 pounds.
What's 529 pounds?
Dean says that's what it weighs now, 529 pounds. You put that on there.
No, we figured it. We did math earlier.
Yeah, who's here that when we did the math?
It was like 439 or something.
Yeah, something like that. Maxwell says, yeah, 38. It glowed red from vacuum tubes. If you go on Marketplace and eBay, and there's still linears out there that are vacuum tube linears, but I don't really want that. That's big, big thing that sucks up a lot of power and marginally dangerous. Yeah, boat anchor is still here. Yeah, boat anchor. I'm gonna have to. Do you have a list of your inventory? You sent me pictures, all that stuff sitting there. Do you ever mess with amplifiers? Of course, I don't know. I've got one radio that's 80 watts that will operate in a CD band, but yeah, do you have any amps like 100 watts, something like that? They all this. They call them one pill, two pill, four pill, all this pills, but that's slang. Just yeah. Dean Stevens says Porky Pig, our favorite ham. Max Wedge, I have a bag of vacuum tubes to give away about 30. Really? Man, there's people gonna want those things. Uh, Porky Pig. Okay, I already read that. Dougster says, "Go, Kim. Your tune to Wrench tonight is Manic Maniac by ZZ Top."
I don't know. I can't think of that.
She can't think of that.
It'll come to me.
I always think of ZZ Top as the cars and the beards. Let's see. Tao says, Aussie law on the phone, etc. You can use a hands-free phone if it's mounted in an appropriate cradle, but you cannot touch it. CB2A not affected by that law, but a cop can book you while using a two-way or CB if driving while distracted. Totally different law. Yeah, I bet they could do that here too. I don't know. Then I assume it's like here. You go to court for that afterwards, and then a judge or somebody decides. I don't know how the legal system is in Australia with the tickets in court and all that. Here you go to court. You can either, a lot of times, you can just pay a fine, or you can go to court and fight it. Let's see here. Yeah, high pass filters, right? Yeah, there's what else you call them? Band pass filters. Uh, yeah, on the I don't know. Yeah, I know about those kind of filters. Uh, yeah, here I like my phone when I had my Mazda. Everything came through the infotainment system, but to answer the phone, I just reach down and swipe across the screen to answer it, or just kill the phone if it was. I just glance down there and see if it was a spammer or not, and I'd either take the call or not take it, depending on which way I swept it. But I don't know. Somebody would probably write me a ticket for that if they figured out I was doing it. I don't know what that is. 38 Racing. Let's see here. Boat anchor. She's installing the intake manifold. Yeah, I see that. Okay, the slant 6 with you on top of it, Kim. Without the intake and accessories. Oh, I see. With you on top of it, it weighs that much.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
But
I weigh 170.
yeah, here's what we did, Dean. We weighed it on the engine stand, and then we weighed the engine stand. I don't know, were you here for that? Then we weighed the engine stand and subtracted it, and then we weighed the intake and exhaust manifold and added it. So we did have a almost complete, some kind of complete weight at the end. KJ Kylie, Kim, don't break any studs. That'll ruin your day.
Oh, these are all refreshed.
She replaced all the studs. Let's see here. Boat anchor, no amps here. Okay. I can. Don't say that, KJ. I don't know what that's about. Let's see here. Boat anchor. I do have a Palomar with 6 tubes in it, 700 watts, single sideband. Wow. Yeah, see, I don't want a tube. I don't even want anything with tubes. This is big. Yeah. There's, if you're in, I don't know, boat anchor did, trying to think of where I met you because you came in our live. Do you ever go to 390 Wagon Master? There's a YouTube channel, 390 Wagon Master, and on Thursday nights he usually does a live, and he's got there's a guy that goes in there that's now I'm not going to think of his name. Three made, three made build dams, and he's not too far from here. I may talk to him. Talo says on the spot fines here can be taken to court if you elect. So you have to pay the police officer? Or, wow. Vacuum tubes are mostly from 1930s and 40s AM radios. Oh, it much later than that. I remember in the 60s buying, my father bought a TV set in 1961, that full of tubes, and past there. And radios still, like desktop radios, anything that plugged in the wall had tubes up into the 60s. The only thing with transistors was the little baby radios, and then it became toward the end of the 60s. Stuff was more had fewer tubes. Dean Stevenson, can I just give the cop a tip? Heard the USA has a tipping culture, not with the police. Now in Russia, all the cops in Russia they wanted to be traffic police, and the traffic police back in the day said "guy," Gai or Gae, I guess Gae, and then whatever Russian words that was, it meant traffic police. And the cops wanted to be traffic police because people would pay them money to not get tickets. So the traffic police were always the more wealthy cops. Tubes were used in the 70s in ham radios. Yeah, I bet they were. Oh, Olive's here. Yeah, tubes stayed around much longer than that, Max. Yep. Like in 38 Racing. What's all this? I was there. Okay, got commercials coming in 1 minute, so I'll be quiet 1 minute. My 60s working TV is a valve. Oh, yeah, valve's what you guys call tubes, isn't it? Oh, excuse me. I didn't take my cough drop soon enough. But that was some nice. Oh, boat anchor. Repair 39. Oh, yes, 390 Wagon Master. So you go in there too. You know who he is then. Okay, here come the ads, so I'm going to quiet down for a minute.
Yeah, quiet down a minute. All right, quit being quiet.
Okay, maybe the ads are over. B&R Racing, I made it 14 months at my present job in South Chicago as a diesel mechanic. It's also a AAA auto shop. Rocco quit, pushed his box out yesterday. Today, a new mechanic pushed his toolbox in. You know, people who've never been an auto mechanic, they have no idea what that toolbox is worth. They have no idea what, they're clueless what a mechanic pays for their tools, and that they buy tools their whole life. They never stop. And it's not hundreds of dollars. It's not thousands of dollars. It's not even tens of thousands of dollars. It's easily $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 worth of tools rolling around. And that's an investment you make all your life. And you do that so you can work on cars. Oh, man, which is so, to me, is a miserable job. Not for myself, but for customers. It's a tough job. Dick Dashley says, my 69 Imperial had a box under the hood for stereo FM search with tubes. Wow, up into 69. I have a radio for a 1940 Chrysler, too. Yeah, I remember my father had a 56 Ford that he bought new, and it came without a radio, and he took it to a radio place that sold Motorola radios, and they installed a Motorola radio, and you turn that thing on for the first 25 seconds, it would just hum, hear, and the tubes would all warm up, and then the radio came on. I remember that was a big deal. An AM radio. Had an AM radio in the car. Tavo! Okay, here we go. Thank you. And you got the lights. Yeah, here we go. Super chat. Thank you.
Thanks, Tavo.
Yeah, BNR says 20 different faces, mechanics in 14 months at work. I called it a revolving door today. Mike bursted out laughing. Yeah, Dean says, I don't have commercials, so I can monopolize the situation. Dougster, BNR, we have had 25 kilo drivers. Kilo, is that like helicopter? Come and go since August across 3 shifts. Hilo drivers or something. I don't know what that is. Mike Gann and I, tag team. 69 to 73 Imperials on my bucket list. Maybe someday. You know, the C body I'd like to have is probably my favorite would be a 66 Monaco, big 2-door Monaco, or maybe a wagon, and maybe a Plymouth of the same year, 65 or 66. Actually, either the Dodge or the Plymouth 65 or 66. But my favorite's definitely the 66 Monaco, those giant taillights in the back, and that little pinch grill in the front. That today kind of reminds me of the Kias with the little, Kia calls it the tiger nose, but back then it was just the Monaco bumper. Looked pretty cool. But trying to find a good one of those. See, I've got that 318 Poly, which would be a nice engine for a car like that. But then I could put the Poly in something else. 38 Racing. Tavo, you get the dancing Kim. Dean Stevenson. Whoop, 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 whoop. Oh. 25 high-low drivers. Oh, that's a forklift. Oh, okay. 25 of them. Doug Rocco caught on fire recently. Gasoline sprayed him in the face, upper body, and ignition ran around the shop like Richard Pryor on fire. I put him out with my bare hands. Think Rocco had it. Oh, Mike N. Here we go. Hit the lights again. Super chat. Super chat. BNR said he saved Rocco. Younger mechanic Chris just watched Rocco burn. Oh, my God. Oh, that reminds me. We left it up at the house. I bought a fire extinguisher for here.
There's one right there.
Where? No, the new one I bought.
I know, but the one that was in my van came out.
Yeah, but...
Burn, baby, let's go. Okay. Thank you for the super chat.
You thought, Chip, Rocco's on fire. Don't panic. Just put him out. Yeah, like, you remember Jay Leno was underneath his steam car when the gasoline went all over him. And the mechanic that was in there just jumped on top of him and put the fire out, you know. Jay ended up in the hospital for a while. And Jay said everybody in that hospital was great. And he said he was going to do a benefit for him. Mike N says, thanks for the super content. Well, thank you for the super chat. Dick Dashley says, I want a 63 wagon for the street. A 63 wagon. Would that be a Plymouth? See, I like 63 Plymouths too. I'd love to have another two-door hardtop, one without the post. Man, see, my brother had one, but I drove it a lot. And I really like 63 Plymouths. And so does, you know who else does is Mexican Spec. He's got two of them. And yeah. It's what? Dean Stevenson says Canadian 4. Mike Ken says, who's next to toss in a 5 spot? You know, it really makes a difference. We get a few super chats, and that makes a difference. It's pretty nice. So I thank you. Dudster, what is that? The Dudster headset. That was SpaceX. Oh, it's Citron. Yeah, that's what that looks like. Citron. Man, that was a mess, wasn't it? That rocket came down. I saw pictures of that. You know, and they're doing their best to steer all the airliners out of the way because the area that was supposed to be some danger wasn't. It came down somewhere else and made a oh man. Blanco Lirio did a kind of a short video on that, and I watched where they were steering airliners all over the place, holding patterns of stuff out in the ocean, and just craziness, you know. And then the comment he made was the FAA wants Elon Musk to do the investigation. He goes, so they're going to let them do their own investigation. He goes, where have we heard that before? And where we've heard that before was with Boeing. So I'm not so sure that's a good idea. Dick Dashley, ooh, something just got hot. Foot. Dick Dashley says, I was on fire with it. Sucks. I was welding exhaust oxygen has leaked on my coveralls and they light up. Oh, jeez. Dean Stevenson, stainless steel shower, 3 minutes of pre-time destruction in free fall. Did you see the video of that? Of that all that stuff falling down out of space? That's one of the worst ones I've ever seen. Do I remember Estes rockets? I sure do. Don't they still make those things? There's people in a model rocketry. Oh, what's her name? Oh, what's her name? She's got a pretty good YouTube channel. And she's a pilot and she does a lot of mechanical stuff. And she does model rocketry. What the heck is her name? I can't think of it right now. Yeah, the fox will never find who's taking the chickens. Yeah, the FAA has called on Elon Musk to do the investigation. I'm sure they'll do an investigation, but I don't think what we need to hear will be public. PJ Kiley saw some at Hobby Lobby today. Oh, okay. Yeah, FAA has ordered SpaceX to launch an investigation on what went wrong on themselves. Sound familiar? That's exactly what Blancalerio said. Exact words. Did you see Blancalerio? Yep, yep, Boeing, exactly. And that's exactly what uh, Juan Brown on Blancalerio. That's exactly what he meant. It was epic. Titanium, stainless steel, and aluminum shower. I tuned into Scott Manley. I saw Scott Manley's video, but it was right before we were coming up here, and I had to hustle out of there, so I didn't watch it. I just saw it was there. After watching delayed coverage of Steve Leto, yeah, there's a guy I like to watch. I watch almost all of his, but it's like I never go on his lives, but I watch I watch almost all his videos. It's raining pretty hard out there right now.
Yeah, it is.
So Kim,
Yeah,
you didn't set up the other camera, did you?
I don't have all the stuff.
You don't have all the stuff. Okay.
It's up at the
So
house.
that was the next.
Raining like cats and dogs.
The next question I had was, what's going on? How you doing?
Starters in. Ship linkage is all hooked up.
I always like doing starters on slant sixes because I could do them from up top. Yeah, Scott Manley, man, he covered it. He usually covers stuff that's back a ways, doesn't he? Covered. I gotta watch that when we get off. I guess get off here. Oh man, Dean Stevenson says depends on the year. Depends on the year. What was I saying? That depends on the year.
It doesn't seem like I did too much stuff, but it was all like difficult stuff, like manhandling that stupid manifold.
Oh, slant six starter versus the exhaust manifold. That's what depends on the year. See, when I was doing my shops, my auto shops, it was well, I worked for a guy in an auto shop 71, went in the Air Force in 73. Then I was still in the Air Force, but I had my first shop. So that was 75 through 80. So that was these cars. And then my second radiator air conditioning shop was 1983 through 1988. So that again was these cars and a little newer than this. So the slant sixes I worked on were probably all this stuff. Buddy Carfano hated doing starter on North Star. Did you ever do one of those? I can't believe they did that. I cannot believe they did that. It's just that's an item that has to be serviced, and they put it there. I have a picture somewhere of a starter inside the bell housing, and it's a joke, I think. I hope. But it said, "Who thought of this?" But there's a bulge in the bell housing and the starter's inside. I hope that's not real. I hope it's a joke. So, Buddy Carfano, where did you work? What kind of shop did you work in? When I see that, I assume it was like a Oldsmobile or Cadillac dealership. But maybe it was some kind of a shop that just did everything. Kim, you're a good dancer. Did you know Fred Astaire or something?
No, I know who Fred Astaire is though. He was a good dancer.
There was a song about it. You know I can't dance. You know I can't dance. God, that was when I was.
I
That's when
actually
I
am a
was in the Air Force.
terrible dancer. I have no rhythm. None.
The inductive motor assistant starter, Porsche Cayenne. Well, what are those new Fords that the is it Ford? I think the alternator and the starter are the same thing, and they run on like 48 volts. So they have a 48-volt battery to run the starter, and then somewhere it taps off that for the 12-volt stuff. I don't know. I saw that, and it's like, man. Dick Dashley, I've had bad luck with welding. That's why I lost my eye. The tire had patch flat in it and blew up. Oh, man. Bent the bead on a steel rim. The whole sidewall was gone. I spent 4 days in intensive care. Well, that couldn't have been
Wow.
fun.
Oh man. I'm so sorry that happened to you. That's traumatic.
38 racing. Well, guys, I'm going to try it. Go to bed before tomorrow gets here. Yeah, okay. We're gonna be streaming when tomorrow gets here, but that's okay.
Well, we'll be back in the
But
shop tomorrow.
thanks for being here. But Carfano, Uncle's Bootleg Backyard Shop. That sounds like a good thing. Man, you did a backyard shop in Massachusetts? That probably got cold. Dean Stevenson, me too. I got assisted by my late father's lodge manager. I got taken off the acting floor by high level
Edict.
eating. I can dance now.
Dance like no one is watching. Or dance like people are watching.
I'm looking up there at the temperature. 65 degrees.
I could poke at that fire if you want me to make more heat, but I'm thinking maybe uh go a little bit longer, but I don't want to go deep into the night on this.
Bentley Continental has a starter in the trans bell. I was like, are you kidding me? Maybe that's what it was a picture of. That's terrible. You can't even smack the starter with a hammer without pulling the transmission.
Modular engine design is a making lots of small serviceable components is definitely the way. Definitely the way. Independently functioning serviceable components. Independently, you can independently diagnose their operation, so you don't have to just start. That's those are the machines that stand the test of time.
Oh, still here. Or maybe just got here. Oh, she was here earlier. Was she?
I dance pretty good, regardless if the old joints cooperate. Yeah, I got it. In the morning, I'm not dancing around. I'm like shuffling, trying to get to the coffee maker in the morning.
Dick Dashley's taken off. Well, thanks for being here.
Thank you for coming. Oh, pardon me. I'm sorry. I'm wearing myself out, but I really want this to be. I want this to be put together pretty soon here.
Boat Anchor says, when you get a chance, Pulsar CB has a channel also. You know, I've seen that. Where did I just see that? Oh, some of the suggested videos I get, I've seen Pulsar, so maybe I should check that out. I was here early. Got pretty fadey a while after I remembered eat. Is all, I do that sometimes. Remember to eat. Oh yeah.
Oh, and KJ Kylie can do it. Dynamite moonwalk. I can see. Look,
I wish I
look
could do
how
that.
look
I
how
wish
good
I
my
could do it.
moonwalk is.
Oh, as long as you can't see your feet.
Can't see my feet.
You can see this when I heard Alice Cooper was a jitterbug champion. Buddy Carpano, uncle was a GM tech, did side jobs, was his helper. He stole customers from dealer because he was cheaper. Might have been honest. I don't know. I shouldn't say that about a dealer because I knew dealers that they did honest work. I had a Mercury Lincoln dealer next to me in one of my shops, and I think they're a pretty honest dealership as far as their service department went. I knew everybody who worked in there. Never really heard any complaints about the place. I used to be terrified of B7D truck wheels and lock rings used on them. Take apart with pry bars, reinstall wrong. You're a dead man. Aired up tires. Man, the cage that you put the wheel in. See, the second radiator shop I had, half the building is a big long automotive service center. Half the building was a tire shop, and they did truck stuff. And the truck parking spot was straight out from my shop. There's that cage they put the split rims in before they air them up. And they had a joke hanging on the wall in that tire shop of one of those cages. And the mechanics are standing inside the cage while they're putting air in the tire.
What am I doing wrong?
Oh, Bud truck wheels. Ricardo Fano, Caddy charged $225 an hour. He charged $100 an hour. I'm curious, when was that? Yeah, what was it? South Main Auto. What was it? He said he charged $90 an hour just recently. Maybe it was 100. I couldn't believe he was that low. And that guy's smart, and he knows how to diagnose problems. He's really good at it. 5 years ago. Yeah, it's a lot.
I mean, that's what it costs. I know as a plumber, we were charging somewhere close to $300 an hour. We never told anybody our hourly rate, that we only charged by the job.
See, and that's how I was. I learned not to charge hourly rates because some asshole will go out there and time you. And you take book time, and it says 1.1 hours, and you do the job in, like just under an hour, and somebody's out there ready to sue you. So I quit doing that. I might look at a job I'm unfamiliar with, look at the flat rate book, but I'd never tell anybody how many hours. I just bid on the job. That's what I'll do the job for. When I was up in Northern California, up there they had to actually punch a time clock, and they charged by the hour. So it's really hard to write an estimate when you do things like that. And then, of course, in a dealership, the mechanic is expected to make the flat rate time. And I was working back in the time when flat rate time was always based on hand tools, and then somebody would go buy power tools, invest the money in that, and they do the job faster, and they made less money because they punch less time. So what incentive was there to get with it and get the job done? Oh, it says I don't charge by the hour in any way. I'm not quick about it. Yeah, we don't do customer work. We don't charge by the hour. We just uh, we just work on stuff. Use what we've got. Don't buy a lot. I did buy a fire extinguisher that's a big old pressurized can, and it says water based. And the reason I bought it is because any of you watch the Car Wizard? He had some of those sitting there, and he goes, "These things work great, and they're water based." He goes, "You could shoot it on a fire; it'll put out any fire." He goes, "They work well, and they don't leave any residue." And that sold me right there. It's a spray can, so I bought one. But it's up in the house, but I'd like to have it here.
I cannot remember what I did with
Oh yeah, a person with a timer wouldn't want to pay extra if overbooked time. Yeah, that's the thing with timing people in an auto repair shop is they they get the flat rate. They don't want to go over the flat rate, but if you go under it, you beat the time. They don't want to pay the flat rate. Flat rate is communism for mechanics. What? Flat rate is communism for mechanics. Oh, I don't know. I flat rate. I use flat rate as a guide though. So like I'd look at something and it says like 1.5 hours. I'd take in my head my hourly rate and figure out about what I was going to bid on the job. And then once I did the job, the next time I had that job to do, I might charge a little more, I might charge a little less, I might charge the same. But I used it as a guide, but I never told anybody that I was using a flat rate manual or what the hourly rate was. I knew people that worked flat rate, and so uh, I had guys working flat rate for me for a while, but I didn't like it because they were the guys that took shortcuts and didn't put fasteners in. Guys that when they're done, they always had a box of fasteners left over, and I was like, But the thing about flat rate is the mechanics that I had on flat rate, which weren't very many, I was a couple of them. But so you do your own comebacks. So you take a shortcut, the job comes back, you fix it for free. But I didn't want jobs coming back because that looks bad. So I kind of quit doing that.
What's I do with my radiator hose?
Is it the one that dropped on the floor over there where that hammer is behind the bench? That somebody on the last chat told us about? Okay, commercial coming up, 20 seconds. In 20 seconds, I'll shut up for a minute.
Oh, I found it.
Okay, maybe the commercial's over. Uh, KJ Kylie, I'm glad I'm not a professional mechanic anymore. Yep, me too. I like being a professional mechanic, what they call us technicians. When I was out at the test site, there were times it was time my job said I was a technician. There were times it said I was an engineer. Depends on what job I was on. Paid the same. But there it was, the customer was the government. So, we were flight testing aircraft, so that's different. BNR says flat rate started in 71, same year as mechanic ASC test. I don't agree with that because I had flat rate manuals that were way older than that. So Yeah, I had flat rate manuals that were from the 50s. So I don't know. I just thought that was always around. But Carfano says flat rate does not work in the Rust Belt. Nope, it wouldn't. It didn't work in Southern California where there was no rust because there were times it was just wrong. Like, for example, doing a heater on a Fox Body Ford that has air conditioning and they give like 8.3 hours. You, you, I always give people 2 days on that job, which I get mad. They don't want to leave their car that long. But I go, you cannot do that job in 8.3 hours. It cannot be done. So of course, then I wouldn't give hours on it. I'd just go, yeah, you got to leave the car for 2 days. It's a hell of a job. And what I do is I bid the job high enough that I'd hope they take it somewhere else. Hope they take it to the Ford dealer. But a lot of times I get the job, which then I know the Ford dealer quoted it even higher. So, and then I just like, oh no, I got to put a heater in that thing.
The Ford dealer was trying not to get the job too.
When you look for that hammer, you'll find the U-joint clips too.
I
KJ Kylan. This one-eyed cat's back. Let's see here. Patrick Sullivan. So that's so true. But he rear shocks 70s, 80s car. 30-minute job turns into 2+ hours. Yeah. Shaquille. Good evening. Probably good middle of the day or something there. Good morning or something. How you doing? Uh yeah, I watch it Eric up there at Eric O'Brock that calls himself Eric O up there at South Main Auto in upstate New York. And he's he's got to deal with all that rust. Yeah, that's a spray and go, spray and walk away. And I've watched him. I've learned a lot how to get things loose that are rusted. And here in Tennessee, we get both sides of it. We get things that are from a little bit north of here, and some things in Tennessee that weren't taken care of, and then some things uh, that are from around here that are, if they're well taken care of, they're not too rusty.
Oh yeah, a lot of this stuff is nice
Shaquille Shake.
because it's not just getting salted once; it's getting salted repeatedly for the life of the vehicle. It just makes it so hard to work on.
Shiloh Spitz.
Terrible.
Good stream. Well, thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Got more people in here. Yeah, and it's pouring rain out there, so she didn't want to go back up the house and get some of the equipment to put a second camera
Sorry,
in here.
everybody.
So it's just raining too hard, and she go walk up there and back should be soaked.
Yeah,
So-
and I'm doing that thing where I'm working high and low and moving the camera around. There's not much to see. The engine's in there.
Yeah, this camera won't reach, will it?
And you could lift it up high and you could see a little better maybe. But
Yeah, let's see if we can reach it over there a little bit. So, okay, I gotta move a few things. Okay, where something's got it caught. Okay, you can see what she's working on. I'm trying to aim this by hand, and I'm a little shaky up there. But oops, this way. Anyway, that's what she's working on. Engine's in there. It's bolted to the bell housing. Torque converter's hooked up. She just got the radiator in. Intake exhaust manifold. She just put that on. So all the little stuff that takes so long. So
I mean, it doesn't take too much longer. We're making good progress.
Dean Stevenson, the slant 6 dart engine is in wrong. It's on a slant. Oh, like this slant?
No, he's just holding the camera.
Or this slant?
Slant.
No, it's in there.
It's getting there. It's getting there, people. Doing my best.
Okay, now I got cord problems. Oh, I got it. I got it back to where we were, I think. close. It's got the tilts there. So you can see the Studebaker. Leaning Tower of Power. I guess it's all relative. It has a lot more power than a lot of cars.
It's got the longevity on its side.
Olive says, I'll be right back. I was going to move downstairs, but I'll just put a little more wood on for now. Oh, yeah, wood. Nothing like wood for heat. Mike says, I had one that last time. Seems random. Hey, we got another super chat.
Did we really?
Patrick Sullivan. Got to light up the Studebaker. Light up the Studebaker lights. Thank you so much. We're gonna have a super chat dance.
Dancing, random dancing. Woo.
Fist bump. Is that what we have to do this? Yeah.
So the car is getting close to running.
What's that say, Patrick? N5. So what is that?
No, needs to I don't know. Got me. Yeah, got me. Thank you, Patrick. We appreciate you.
This is cool.
It all helps.
We keep lighting up the Studebaker tonight.
Yeah, you guys are really helping. We
And
appreciate
they're
it.
talking about pizza. Shaquille goes pizza. Shows like delicious.
Are you trying to make us hungry?
I can't eat a lot of bread, so pizza's kind of out of the question. But we went to the store, and I bought a bunch of stuff to make pizza, and I plan to make it in a pan without any bread, upside down. Put the vegetables and the meat in first, then the cheese and the sauce, and heat it all up, and then I'm gonna flip it over and try to make it come out so I make a pizza without any crust. I'm gonna try to do that. I don't know how that'll work out.
It'll taste good because the ingredients.
Oh, even if I just scrape it out of the pan in a big pile, it'll still taste good.
Yeah, it'll still taste good. That's all.
OM, old man. Patrick. N5s. 73, old man. Yeah, Tavo's like thinking about pizza too.
Uh-oh, now everybody's hungry. Trying to.
Dean Stevenson, Toyota's book values are great. Ford's book values, well, all-wheel drive Explorer versus two-wheel drive Ranger, single overhead cam 4.0 could be 31 or 22 hours. 5-speed manual versus 5-speed auto. KJ Kiley, give me BLT, hold the bread. Oh man, I've never thought about doing that. Kim makes tacos, and I'll just take the lettuce and fold the lettuce in half and make instead of using a tortilla, I'll use the lettuce, and man, that's good. It's a little messy, but I got to lean over a plate or something, but that's pretty good. BLT, man, I miss having sandwiches. Before I was a diabetic, and even after, and I wasn't paying attention like I should, I lived on sandwiches. Pizza, ice cream, and chocolate. Pizza, ice cream. Kim likes ice cream. Would you like pizza ice cream?
No.
A taco wrap. Is that what that is? Where you wrap it in lettuce? It's messy. It's wet and messy, but it sure is good. Shaquille says, "Oh my God, pizza party! We could have a pizza party on here. We could cook pizza on top of the wood stove. Dean Stevenson, BLT B code 3.3, L code 250, T code 200 Ford engines. Both me BLTs. Shaquille says taco. Yeah. What did I eat earlier? It was good. Oh, those mixed vegetables that are in the frozen ones.
Yeah.
I made those and they needed a little salt. And I put a little garlic salt on them. Not much. Man, were those good. That was after the live we did earlier today.
Yeah, that does.
But you can't eat that. I screwed up yesterday. I made Kim dinner and gave her some of those mixed vegetables and some hot dogs. Afterward, I said, "How was it?" She goes, "You put broccoli in that," and she can't eat broccoli. And I was like, "Whoops, forgot." And she likes it, but it does something to her stomach or something.
Oh, it makes me so bloated. Bloated.
Dean Stevenson says, "Flying burritos, brothers." Mike N, y'all got my toes tingling thinking about all those unhealthy foods. Oh man, do you have toes tingle? Yeah, I've got toes that are kind of yeah, the feeling in them is minimal. They got a little tingling in them, and I can't make it go away. I've had it for a couple of years, and it's just that I think it got better because it used to be more on my foot, and I really started paying attention to diet. It's better.
I'm doing my best to make sure he takes care of himself, people.
And if you're a diabetic, you'll know my A1C is down in the fives, so that's a good thing, and it was never like that. Patrick Sullivan, know the tingling well. Wow.
The military contractors were killing this man. They were killing him, and they didn't care. He thinks they were taking good care of him, though. They were killing him. Living on the road was killing him.
Boat Anchor says, will a 440 wedge fit in that car of hers? You know, I would have said no, except, One-Eyed Cat that's in here.
We've seen people do some things.
And Mrs. One-Eyed Cat. One-Eyed Cat has the even smaller A body. It's a 62 Valiant, and his has a 440 in it, and with dual quads on it, and he gets the hood closed. You open up the hood. I saw it at No Name Nationals, and it is packed in there, but it looks like it belongs. And he races it. I think, did he drive it there one year? Or maybe he drove it there every time. I don't know. But
I don't know.
It's got a 440 wedge in a 62 Valiant. That's amazing. So I guess the answer would be yes. And Tavo says it'll fit if you drop it from high enough.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
And for the flat earthers, Tavo's down under. So when he drops it, does it go away from the car or does it go toward the car? Because he's on the bottom side of the flat earth. So does it drop away?
Yes.
Why does the car stick to the road? The suction cups on the tires.
Oh, I'm struggling.
You're struggling. You're running out of
steam. Man, I'm running low. Steam thing.
It'll fit if you drop it from high enough. Oh, One-Eyed Cat. Mrs. One-Eyed Cat says no, it was towed. See that car with that 62 Valiant.
Get it? It was towed because it's a road toad.
It's a road toad. So
did it drive
towed
there or was it towed?
Well, here's the thing. With that car, the first time I saw it, he says it has a 5-barrel. And he opened up the hood, and there was a 1-barrel on the back of the manifold and a 4-barrel on the front. It's a dual quad manifold with some adapters or something. And so it ran on the 1-barrel until he stuck his foot in it, and then it went to the 4-barrel. So it was 5-barrel intake. Well, now he's replaced it with another with two 4 barrels. So that must be quite a trip to drive that thing. Buddy says, I've got a hammer and a torch. I'll make it fit. Dean's Pandora app is always open and running. Yeah. God, I used to have Pandora. What? I forgot all about Pandora. You know, the other thing I had a lot was I used to have the satellite XM, Sirius XM, and I used to listen to a lot of talk radio, but it just got so political, like I just couldn't listen to it anymore, and I just got rid of it because I did listen to some of the music, but you know, pretty soon I just had a lot of music stored on my phone, and I just listened to that through the infotainment center, and I quit paying Sirius. The other thing is Sirius XM. There was something else with them. They wanted me to keep upgrading to more stuff, and then I had a really hard time getting them to shut it off. Dean Stevenson, I never opened it. The mystical portal is always open here. Dean Stevenson, I'm proudly in love with Pandora. My poems have an intellectual theme. And he's singing that. Oh, it says satellite radio is great for music, really. I just don't spend enough time on the road to justify it. And I think that was part of the problem too. Although I don't know, there was a lot of content there, but I wasn't using it much, and I just and at night I drive at night a lot. I'd be putting 1,000 miles away at night, and listen to regular radio. I could listen to some talk radio, and you know who I used to listen to was Art Bell, and he was on enough AM stations. There was always enough skip that I could at night I could listen to him anywhere in the country. But then Art Bell, it was still kind of hard. But then Sirius XM, the talker, I don't enjoy political stuff at all. I don't want to listen to political. I don't want to listen to people argue. And Art Bell was not arguing; it was fun stuff. So the fun stuff went away, and Art Bell had died, and I don't know. I just got rid of it. Put a CB in the car, did other things. Andromeda Turi hosts a show on Sirius. Who is that? Again, Andromeda Turi. I don't know who that is. I'm a bad or dad. Channel 66. I'm trying to remember. There was kind of an oldie station I used to listen to. It wasn't really what I would call oldie. It was classic rock that I used to listen to. But I don't know. I just got rid of it. Okay, Kim, you might want to sing this stuff that Dean Stevenson's putting on here.
What's Dean Stevenson doing music wise?
Okay, well, you can read it from there.
I'm profoundly in love with Pandora, my I don't know that song.
Just know that song.
Just make it up.
He's making it up. George Norrie is not as good as Art Bell. They are two completely different shows, aren't they? I know people that didn't start listening until after George Norrie came out, and they like it. But anybody that listened to Art Bell doesn't like George Norrie a lot. Art Bell, he could have some real wackos on, and the way he dealt with them was genius. I mean, Art Bell just was very entertaining, and yeah, it's just sad he died fairly young. Yeah, and there's a guy that was a extra class amateur radio. Now, Ham, talk to anybody on the radio?
Are you able to get up?
Am I able to get up? Okay.
Can you hand me
Okay.
this wrench?
I gotta get up from the chair. Hand you the wrench. Where is it? Where'd it go?
It's right by the jack wheel. You should be able to see it. I pushed it out a little.
Oh, it's not a wrench, it's a pry bar?
No, it's a wrench.
Oh, this. I didn't even see that. Well, that was easy.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna have to crawl into the
Oh,
car.
I thought I was gonna have to crawl back out from under here.
Okay. Kim. Oh, I'm a little dizzy when I stood up. I gotta go walk outside. I gotta go take a break.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
So you are in charge of the chat.
Guys, where?
Well, you might just be able to talk without reading the chat. I don't know.
We're wrenching. I'm putting the fan on. It's a mechanical fan.
Oh, and this stove really died now. Okay.
Yeah, it might be getting back down. Mechanical fan. I got the bolts in. It's a pain in the butt. I like the fastbacks. Yeah. Used to drift in the snow to different songs, different music sounds. Cool, cool, very cool. Okay, I sure hope I don't have any trouble with that belt. Oh, my butt stuck in this car. Running out of steam here. It's a lot of work. What else can I do? Wire up the starter. George Clinton and the Funkadelic. Oh, okay. Sounds like fun. I'm sorry, guys. I'm uh, just trying to get this car put together. I mean, it's getting closer. It's not starting tonight. Yeah, it's a raining and a raining. It wasn't all that dry before we started, so it's probably mucky out there now.
Oh man, I got soaked. I'm gonna be over here messing with fire.
Okay,
I'm in your territory. See, fire used to be my responsibility. Then Kim just sort of took over, and she did a better job than me. So you put my poker on the floor again. Why do you like that on the floor? It's so hard to pick up.
Oh, all the way on the floor.
No, 'cause I can't
Shit!
Can't get a hold of it.
Shit! I mentioned pooping. Out of here again. Off it, stop.
What are you doing?
Dropped it. Now I gotta get out of there.
Oh, I thought you were gonna come over here and take over the fire.
No,
Oh, you got lots of wood in here that's not just, it's drying, so it is, it just needs some rearrangement.
Oh, they're talking about music. Whew. It's not going to be tonight, but tomorrow, this engine will start. Oh, that reminds me that. Oh, you know what? We have to do a short for you, don't we?
We have to do shorts. Oh,
Man.
God. Ooh, my hands got warm that time.
Miss One-Eyed Cat says Dawn is putting a new 440 and a different transmission from John Cope this year. That's that the car will be fast with a new 440 and John Cope knows how to build a transmission, so that's awesome. Wow. You know, I lost a lot of friends there, baby. I got no time to mess around. Oh yeah, no, all the studs have been replaced. They're all fresh, so nothing should be.
What's that on the intake?
Yeah, this motor's been together and apart 3 times now.
Can I get by here?
Yeah.
May I get by here? Oh, you don't have to get up.
Oh, I was just.
I was gonna sit in
I didn't
your
know
chair.
how long you were going to be gone. I'm going to wash my hands so I can touch things again for a minute, for 1 minute until they're dirty again.
My hands got really warm because I put my welding gloves on and I actually took one of those pieces of wood out of the furnace and turned it around and put it in while it was on fire. And my hands started to get warm, but
How much wood is in there? Is it filled or does it need more?
well, I think you'd think it needs more,
Okay.
but there's enough that it's gonna work. Dean Stevenson says it's okay, carb. Well, I've missed a lot of this. Whereas Moon Unit Zappa said, free your ass and your mind will follow. Yeah, Moon Zappa. Yeah, a friend of mine, his daughter's married to her brother. What's his name? Not Amit, the other one. Why can't I pull up names? Dweezil. And I don't know how they're doing. As of a couple of days ago, the fire was getting close to their house, but they still had a house. Again, she didn't break the studs. Okay, we got ads coming in 1 minute. Don is a Jolly Roger. Fan shroud studs, mention it not. Break the logs up into smaller pieces, burns hotter and quicker. You know what she does? She puts giant pieces in there because they're still a little wet. They're still a little fresh. And she puts them off to the sides, has a fire here, and as they dry, they fall into the fire, but she'll really stuff it full, and it doesn't burn as hot, but it burns a lot longer, and then it stays warm in here. Now, if it gets real cold, that doesn't work. If it gets real cold, we just let it freeze and quit for a couple of days.
Yeah,
Dean says if you're diabetic, your pain tolerance is higher. Oh, ads. Okay, maybe the ads are over. I'm diabetic, my pain tolerance is higher. Yeah, but you know, in my hands, when I've got welding gloves on, I can feel them start to get warm. They're like, "Ooh, this is getting warm," and then it's like, "Okay, got to get out of there," you know. But I know the difference between my hands getting up to about 100 degrees, and that's probably about where they got. It was a little warmer than ambient, or than body temperature. Uh, Donna's taking the motor to Ohio in the spring to have it rebuilt. Dean Stevenson says, Dweezil. Yep, Dweezil.
That's awesome.
Let's see here. Yeah, my friend's daughter, her name is Megan. Yeah, Flip Your Wig is definitely the snow driving album. Makes you just want to hang the tail up. So what's going on, Kim? You're over there making noises like something.
Yeah. I'm doing pretty good.
Dean says, I love the soft southern snow we have down here. You can hear the snow crispy while you opposite lock your six-cylinder car. Dean, does it snow down there where you are? I know you're much further, much higher latitude than, higher meaning higher number, latitude than Australia is. So I don't know I really don't understand the weather patterns in New Zealand at all. And I don't know where you are in New Zealand, if you're in the North Island or South Island.
Just give him your address, Dean. He wants to stalk your house on Google Maps.
Well, there's Flakes by Frank Zappa is hilarious. You keep the snow. Man, that's why I moved away from Ohio. I was up there in the snow belt. Had enough. I was there for 15 years in that area of the country. I had enough snow for a lifetime. You know, here it snows and the whole place shuts down. There'll be about an inch of snow on the ground.
Yeah.
But
everybody panics.
But
grocery stores are eradicated of all.
I don't even like everything. That. But Barking Pumpkin Record, yeah, he's down under.
I just like that the season here is much shorter.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. By the end of February, there's flowers starting to get on some of the plants, and
winter ends early.
Yeah, the winter just ends earlier. Those trees start getting leaves on them in March, and up there in Ohio, man, it'd be first week in April. We always had like a big old snowstorm come in, like a blizzard, you know. And you just about think it's over, and it's not over. Here it comes again. You know, it'd be like 3 feet of snow in like well into April. I just hated that, you know. Dean Stevenson says, yes, it does. We are seaward at 500 feet. At 1,000 feet, it's always snowbound for at least a month. Really? So you must be on the South Island, which is the big island. I would think, but I'm not sure. Syracuse, New York is the worst place for snow. Lake effect snow is nonstop. Yeah, that's how Geneva, Ohio is like that. Geneva, Ohio is just like Buffalo or any of those places, you know. Cabo, the big desert island of Australia, gets snow in some areas. Yeah, that's another thing. You know, Australia, I don't know the terrain very well. I see the latitudes, and I assume way up north it's probably tropical, but I don't know. I see pictures like Alice Springs and stuff. It looks like desert to me. But I really don't know what the altitude, you know, what the field elevation is. For us pilots, we call it field elevation. I don't know what the elevation is. Dean Stevenson, best place for me, this one I get. Don't disturb anyone but Americans on Buffing Games Live. Olive says, my problem with the South is I seem to be allergic to everything. Well, nothing's frozen. Even here, it gets cold enough the mosquitoes go away. Dean Stevenson, yep. Mornington, Dunedin, South Island. Oh, Mornington, Dunedin, South Island, East Coast. Mike N., I love PA. I love my Massachusetts too. Yeah, I gotta look this. Oh, I almost lost control of my phone.
Easy.
Oh, I'm shaky. Why am I shaky?
Because you're old.
Because my left hand knows I'm old. And some days my left hand is really shaky. Like my last, that last short we did, I was so shaky. I felt terrible. You don't have to give me coordinates. I'm just curious where people are. I'll probably never go to New Zealand. Years ago, I would have liked to go there because we were selling so many airplanes there. I would have liked to go on that trip. But I don't like flying anymore. In fact, I really dislike it. I do just about anything I can do to avoid flying. And at one time in my life, that's all I wanted to do. Get my pilot's license to fly, any excuse to fly. Oh, MA is not Massachusetts, it's mom, and PA is not Pennsylvania, it's pop. Mom and pop. I get it now. It's my
Ma and pop. Like ma and pa kettle?
KJ Kai, I love PA too, but I'm moving to North Carolina. Really? Bunch of cool people in North Carolina. Of course, North Carolina's a big long thing. Could be over here by the Tennessee side, or you could be way out there by the Atlantic coast. Who's over there is Unity Motorsports Garage
Oh,
and David Weisler.
oh, right, yeah. That's right, they are.
Kim, what you working on? Alternator?
The alternator.
Alternator. Yeah, you're kind of on that side of the car. I thought that's where you were. What is that? 10A. I don't know. Strath Ellen Street, Dunedin.
Don't dox yourself!
Jeez.
Goodness.
KJ Kai, I'm a surf bum. In Pittsburgh?
We're surfers in Pittsburgh.
It's like Tavo kind of told me where he lived. We did. So I got on Google Maps and found the area and looked it all around. And it's like, he said, Dean Stevenson says that's not his home address. So I looked around there and it looks very desertish to me, but he says it's not desert. He called it something on farmland or something. I don't know. But it's definitely about as rural as you can get. I mean, there are some structures around there, but he's out in the middle of nowhere. Paul says, I've never surfed, but speaking of snow driving, surf music works for that too. KJ Kylie in North Carolina, hopefully. Oh, I see. You want to surf in North Carolina. Dean says, you don't think I'd be that clever, do you, Kimborghini?
I don't know what you guys will do. He would like it though. He'll look up if you give him your address, he's looking at a picture of your house on the internet.
Well, it's like I like to see places and like especially like Tavo. He's so far away. I'll probably never go there, but
it's not like he's going to show up at your door. He just likes to see.
It gives me a really good idea where the guy is, and it's like look at the terrain around there. There's not much out there, and it gives me a real feel for the location and what he's doing. It's pretty cool.
He enjoys it thoroughly. Hey, if there's a really cool landmark anywhere near where you are, like a church or like a really cool architectural feature, a building or something like that, and you know the address, give it to him so he can look at it. He gets a kick out of it. You really love that. Yeah, you would like that. I know you would. Don't pretend like you would.
I see something like an airplane on display along a highway. which I saw in Canada one time. So I've gone back and looked at that. And, on online. And I hear things that are like that. And it's like, oh, I go look to see where it is. I like that. Dean says, I blame the. Wait a minute, I missed something. Oh, Dean bombardix bombardix us with his namings. Dean, I blame the Scottish for all the strange names. Dean, I thought the bridge shits of the roads were good. The bridge shits of the. I don't know what that is. This is one I had. It's all family, guys. Dean, oh, now I get it. The bridge shots of the road. Davo, there's a big farm near my place. Lots of them on all sides. Okay, so to me, it looked like I said, it looks very rural. There's farms, like you said. It's farmland, but it had that drier look to me, and it was, I don't know, it's an interesting place. I mean, that's a place that I like. I like being out away from cities, and that's a pretty cool place. The only thing is when you cut your thumb and you got to drive yourself to the hospital. I was worried about you that night. Oh man, Dean Stevenson, St. Bernadette's Church, my dad's church in Forbury Road. And Dean Stevenson just retracted something. I missed that. Dean Stevenson, Tonsley Park. Oh, my arm hurts. Why does my arm hurt? Kim, you know what I see up in like under the Studebaker, over by that red thing? You took the headlight door off your car.
Yeah, I don't remember why.
Because you were thinking about pulling the cam out through the front of the car.
Oh.
And you got as far as taking one headlight door off and gave up. And excuse me. And now hiccups. And now we got to remember to put it back on. And I put the screws in something in a bag somewhere, maybe with it. I carefully put them in a bag, and now I don't remember where the bag is. That's bad.
I think it's here.
Oh, it might be up there on the car, on the fender. Okay, good. Tavo, you want names? Oh my God, here's all these are definitely Australian names. Wollongabba, Moro does some alphabet. Gundi Windy. Yeah, I see Australian names of towns. It's all stuff like that. There's a company down there that makes aircraft engines. It's a Jabiru, and then they started building airplanes, the Jabiru airplanes. And so I'd see names of people and places. I go like, where is it? And I'd look on the map, and I'd see all these names like that. The Aboriginal names. Thought the Scottish were weird. Yvonne Goolagong. KJ Colley says that.
I think I messed up.
What do you mean you messed up?
I think I put this in the wrong order.
The wrong order. I hate it when I put together something in the wrong order, and then it's really hard, or you got to do it twice.
Take something apart, yeah. Take something back apart.
Why do it right when you can do it twice?
You do it nice.
Ernie Dingo. Dingo's a dog, isn't there? Something like a dog, or a breed of dog, or I don't know.
Dirty Dingo sounds like something they name a bar.
Ernie?
No.
Oh, you said dirty?
Dirty Dingo.
Oh, I
Yeah.
smell gasoline. What do you got going there?
I'm putting gasoline on.
Okay, did it very much fall?
Nah.
Okay, because I
Nah,
mean,
just enough to make
we
it
have a
stick.
fire going in here and we got gasoline going on the ground. That's like major. Oh no!
Yeah, no problem.
How much went on the ground?
Um, I don't think I didn't see any. I just,
Okay,
just
Just when I smell
moving,
gasoline in here,
moving it around made enough stir that you could smell it again. But it seemed,
because I don't care how cold it is. If we got gasoline on the ground, we're gonna soak it up and get the doors wide open.
yeah, no. If there's no liquid gasoline, it's just some heat.
Okay. Dean Stevenson, the Aboriginals gave names to all the animals. Oh, that's something that Bob Dylan wrote. I used to really like listening to Bob Dylan. Man, that was in the 70s. Gee, stuck inside a mobile. Patrick Sullivan, Moequa Native Indian name, small town 50 miles south. Oh, yeah, Moequa. Moequa, okay. Dean Stevenson, guess maybe where the name Dingo came from. Oh, so dingoes are wild relatives of dogs and maybe hyenas. Really? I thought they were. I thought they were dogs that were just a breed that you could have as a pet. Maybe not. Maybe it's like a wolf or something where you leave them outside. Australia has all animals that are different than what we got here. 12-bar rhythm and blues, American Indian. You have more spillage?
No.
Well, okay, I just got another whiff of it. That's all. Is this the weird hour?
I think it is. It's the weird hour.
That's KJ Kylie asking. Is this the weird hour?
I think we've achieved weird.
Oh, Dean Stevenson, apex predator, bro. Oh, it says Australia. Dean, only when I'm here, KJ Kylie. Well, it's already tomorrow here. How can it be tomorrow? It's never tomorrow.
Today again.
It's just today again. Well, now we're on the same day as Dean Stevenson and Tal Owen. I don't know who else is still here. That's from different days. Oh, says I don't think dingoes are tame at all. Paul says the dingo is 100% canine. The Kelpie and blue heeler breeds have some dingo DNA. Oh, Anchor, I just put up some brownies. I just PU, I guess that's put up some brownies into bake. Put some brownies into bake. Oh, man.
Oh, nice. See, he's making good use of his time.
I wish I could eat
He
brownies.
is, she is. Who are we talking to?
Boat Anchor CB Radio.
Oh, sweet. All right. Oh, man. I wish we had some. That would have been good. I should have started that before I was on.
Yeah, but if you make brownies, you'll eat them all because I won't be allowed.
Yeah, and then
I'll get like one little pinch off a corner to taste it. Tease me.
We are hyper focused on getting this car going. It is the whole entire thrust of our lives. It is all consuming. Working on this dart.
What's Buddy Carfano said? Friend's wife poured oil under his car. Oh, she poured it under his car. He spent hours looking for the leak.
Oh,
and she said she won the fight. Patrick Sullivan, Steve Irwin told us about all those exotic Australian animals. Man,
Yeah, he did.
one mistake. One mistake. Maybe it wasn't even a mistake.
Well, he was
Just
out of his element.
just bad timing.
He was out of his element.
In the words of Janis Joplin, tomorrow never comes. It's all the same effing day, man. Pablo says, Cookie, Hijikali dingoes. Just stare them in the eye. They wimp out. Okay, so my question again is, I really didn't get a straight answer. I learned something, I think. But the dingo is 100% canine. Does that mean they can be pets, or does that mean they're wild animals?
I don't think the dingoes are domesticated.
I guess that's what I mean. Are they domesticated at all, or are they wild animals? I tend to get along with animals. I may not have run with the wolves, but I have lounged with the coyotes. Oh man, out there at the test site, there were coyotes all over the place. And we weren't supposed to feed them, but of course we did. We had a guy out there that fed them a lot. We had somebody had bought a bunch of pizzas for us. And we didn't eat all the pizzas, so there was a pizza in a box that didn't get eaten, and it sat there for a couple of days. So this guy that fed the coyotes, took the pizza box out there and set it on the ground, opened it up, left it out there about where he used to put food for them. And they knew his truck. They all drove the test officer all drove these white Chevy trucks. They were all identical. But those coyotes knew his truck. If his truck went out there, they were following it. And they didn't follow any of the other white Chevy trucks. It was amazing. So he went out there and dropped that pizza box off and drove away. And a coyote went over there and grabbed some of the pizza and ran off with it. He came back, grabbed some more pizza and ran off with it. Came back, and I guess he'd gotten all the pizza because the box has got all cheese and everything melted in it. He grabbed the box and took off. So the box is open like this, and he's got the box in his mouth, and the other half of the box is slapping him in the ass. And every time that box hits the coyote in the ass, he runs faster, and then it hit him in the ass again, he'd run faster. So I'm sure he thought something was grabbing him, but it was the pizza box he was running off with. Oh, it says dingoes are wild canines. They're not domestic dogs, though. Kawa says they're a dog as a dog. They can be domesticated, but do have strong instincts. Can't legally keep them as pets. Oh, okay. Also, pure dingoes can't bark. Oh, really? Oh, okay. So they are quite a bit different.
That would be a good characteristic for a dog.
Well, that's kind of what I wanted to know. What Tavo said. Yeah, I knew people that had. I never knew anybody that had. Uh, what was I just talking about? I can't think. I knew people that had some wild canine kind of animals around, but they just come up and eat some of their food, and they were friendly with them, but they didn't keep them. They were wild animals. And why can't I think of words I was just saying? The coyotes. I didn't know anybody that ever kept coyotes. I fed them. There was one coyote that got in a fight or something. The whole side of his face was all chewed up. You could see where it's kind of healing up, but it was not doing well, and it was infected. You could see his teeth and everything because whatever it was really chewed him up. So the guys out there at the test site, some of them were taking hot dogs and cutting hot dogs and putting antibiotics in them and throwing them out there. And they did that for like a week. And that coyote, it all healed up, but it looked nasty. It was terrible injury, but the infection all went away. And I was kind of amazed that they did that. And we weren't supposed to do that stuff, but people did it. Cumulative causation activity loop. Cumulative causation activity loop. This is One-Eyed Cat. Dean Stevenson, I sent you a friend request on Facebook. Dean Stevenson, did they eat wallabies? Tao dingoes, I mean. Yeah, wallaby, I don't know.
Would you wipe this out slightly? Doesn't have to be perfect.
Oh. Wallabies are adorable. What are those animals they have down there that'll kick the shit out of you? I've heard some of those, like kangaroos. I've heard they're nasty animals. Oh, Kim, this is a mess.
Okay.
Can you hand me where do you have, no, the spray, oh, like that green can right there. Right here.
Oh, power.
Power Lube, I couldn't think of the name of this. I can't think of names for anything.
You're okay. It's getting late.
I can't think of the names of anything. My brain's fried. Not from drugs, just from age. Oh, what did you put in here? What'd you put in this funnel?
It's been sitting on the floor.
It's been sitting on the floor. Tiny kangaroo down sport. Yeah, that started a whole thing in here one night because the guy that wrote that or sang that or something turned into be some kind of nasty criminal, and so I guess that's not a cool song anymore. But I thought, regardless of what happened to the guy, which I can't think of his name right now, I remember that song. Probably about 1960 or so. I was a little kid, and I thought it was a pretty cool song. Yeah, and there was some politically incorrect things, I guess, in that, years later in that song, and then he have some criminal background later on. Just everything went wrong. Sadly, a good song got ruined by a bunch of nonsense. Rolf Harris, yeah. Okay, I assume this is for oil.
No, that's
Oh, for
water. You want to fill the water up?
water.
Water.
We're not putting water in there, are we? Are we putting water?
Well, there's 3 jugs of.
I mean, we could put water in there until it's warmed up.
There's 3 jugs of premix.
Okay, heck, so that would have been road games with Stacy Q each other. The alleged dingo barked, so it was let off the hook as being a domesticated dog. Okay, I'm away. Steve Falcon pursuit car. Okay, I'm away from the chat. I'm into. Oh, you're putting a new carburetor on it? What are you doing?
I'm putting the carburetor on there that we had on there before, so that
Oh,
we just know.
oh, I don't remember that carburetor. Okay, what is the coolant in? The blue, the small blue gallon jugs? Yeah, these jugs?
Yeah, that's
Okay, I don't want to pour the wrong thing in.
Well, thank you. Appreciate you doing your due diligence. But
This light is terrible.
we'll move it.
But I can make
It's
it.
in my eyes too.
Oh, it's in your eyes too?
Yeah, move it.
Okay, I'm gonna move it because that's almost can't see what I'm doing.
Yeah, clip it up high or something.
Flip it up high.
Something. I don't know.
How's that? Better?
Better for me.
Better for me too. Okay, we have a lower hose on here. Yes.
Yeah.
And the petcock's closed.
Yes.
Or never open or something.
No, it was open, but it closed.
Oh, that can fall so easy. This funnel's kind of big for that pillar. And it's going down. What is this? Sorry, kind of like cast ended up something I don't know. Dean Stevenson. I'm sorry, I missed some of the chat. Dean Stevens, yes, but I worked for Bid Food for a while. Bid Food. That must be a down under place. Supplier formerly known as Bid Best. Still, it's just hard to things in. This is a two-handed job, and I'm using. It's a three-handed job. I'm using two hands. Kim, can you take a break for a second? Yes, thank you. You know what's happening. It falls out, this goes everywhere.
Yeah, I don't really want to clean up the glycol. It's the worst.
I don't know if it's the worst.
It sucks.
Glycol's a mess. Brake fluid's a mess. 90 weight's not too nice. Although it's very well contained.
Okay, do you already have one full one in there?
Yes.
Okay, take a break for a second. I just want to check for leaks before we
Oh,
go
yeah, okay.
too far.
Okay. I've been kind of looking, but probably not as well as you're going to look. Let's see here. There's all kinds of chat I'm missing.
Yeah, I got you. Everything that's in these jugs came out of the engine, so it should all go in.
Yeah, we've got a hole built in the thermostat, so it should, although that's not going to move quickly, we should be able to get it all back. It is kind of nice, even with the engine off, it sits there and bleeds out. Yeah, one of the commenters told me engine run too cold.
Too cold?
Yeah, with that 1/8-inch hole in there. It says it'll set a code on weight.
Who thinks that engine will run too cold with a tiny hole in the thermostat?
I've been doing that like for 50 years. Never had an engine run too cold. This guy in the comments, there's more than one in there. Didn't have anything nice to say about it.
Oh, Tavo says they're mostly chattering amongst themselves. Well, thank you, everyone, for being patient with us. We're hitting it hard. I got the carburetor.
You're tipping this.
I'm holding it. I got the carburetor mounted. The linkage is connected. Alternators in. We're filling the coolant.
The fuel line's connected. I can see that.
The fuel line's almost connected.
Oh, you got transmission lines running all crazy place.
Yeah, but they're it's a sealed system. They won't be. I don't have to do
As
it.
long as nothing carbs on it,
Saw.
like a pulley or something.
Okay. We'll check that too. Okay, let it bubble for a little while now. Just set it down.
Yep.
You got it?
No, we can pour more in. It's down to the tubes. You know, you're right.
Yeah, just let it settle a little bit.
Yeah, it'll bleed out.
I can't get that. Use the
Yeah, it's slowly going down, just like it should. Excellent.
Oh God.
Was this all of a sudden I'm not getting most of the racy references? What is it? Dean Stevenson, I was busy with Race to the Yankee Zephyr Warriors, the 21st century. Yeah, I don't know what all this is either. Uh, Dean Stevens, Patrick, it's not true that all Americans have a curiosity 5 miles wide and 1 inch deep. I frequently found it's 5 miles deep too. Let's see here. Mrs. Tavo says the worst part about seeing road games at the drive-in was I did see the entire movie, much to the annoyance of the young lady accompanying me. I don't know what all this is either. Yeah, some about celebrity gossip and all this. Stu. I guess we all have our beliefs of other cultures. Yeah, and some of them bother me, and I guess I shouldn't let it. Europeans that give me a hard time about how stupid us Americans are that we refuse to go to metric system. You know, oh, some guy I can in England, and he's like probably 28 years old, and he's giving me a real hard time about us not wanting to go metric. And I go, our automotive business went metric in 1977, which is like how many decades before you were born, and we had probably completed that by the mid 80s, and the belief that we are still building cars in inches is just amazing to me. And then, especially in England when they're giving me a hard time and their roads are all in miles and miles per hour, it's like, come on. So you guys just draw the line in a little different spot. But I've had British guys tell me I won't be able to work on their aircraft because I don't have any metric tools. It's like, really? I think back, the very first wrench I bought was metric, and it was for a bicycle I had when I was a little kid. I was 9 years old, and the bicycle was probably made in France. I don't know where it was made, but it was all metric. So my first tool was a metric tool. And working on cars, Japanese cars, German cars, Volkswagens, all these cars, and then American from 1977 on. Of course, I have metric tools. What do you think? But I think most Europeans believe that we don't know anything about metric system. Yeah, hey, metric systems are the only way us Americans are bilingual. That's another thing they give us a hard time about. Americans aren't bilingual. But you look at the size of Europe, and what do they have? Like 19 languages packed in an area this big. When the United States is like this big, and we have one language that
Can't
covers
they agree
everything.
on anything?
And it's like, come on, people. You know, of course you got to be bilingual, but I speak Russian well enough to get by. Spanish, I know a little. Like when Mexican specs in here, I know a little what he's saying. But you know, I think most Americans do know more than one language, although they're probably not fluent. Like in Europe, You drive less than an hour, you're in a country where they speak another language. You're gonna have to be bilingual or more. I was in Finland, and the thing I found in Finland is just about everybody I ran into spoke English and, of course, Finnish, and they spoke Russian. And that was, but look where they live. Go and most people in Finland live way in the southern part of Finland. So, Paul says I haven't put an SAE tool on a car like in 15 years. Oh, we have a lot because we're working on older American cars.
Yep.
But that's okay. I remember my sheet metal fab friend not long after the conversion cut himself on a piece of 18 gauge, 100 millimeter wide by 6-inch long. PJ Kylie, I speak Pig Latin too. Oh, remember that stuff? Pig Latin. You remember Pig Latin?
Yes.
I forgot all about that. Yeah, Patrick Sullivan. You got it.
I am exhausted.
You're exhausted.
Well, yeah, we worked for 2 hours this afternoon, and then it's another 3.5 now.
Okay, so what time is it? Oh, yeah, we've been on here for 3 hours and some minutes.
The car is very close. I'm sure when we go to turn the key, we're going to find more things.
Find a surprise.
But the car is very close.
Nothing.
We're going to start it tomorrow.
Oh, what's the weather supposed to be tomorrow? We're supposed to stop raining by what time? By very early in the morning.
I don't think it's supposed to get cold tomorrow.
That's what I'm going to look at.
Later.
So tomorrow, come on, phone. Oh my God. Okay, today it's supposed to be, which is tomorrow, it's supposed to be 48 high and 25 low. That means in the evening it starts getting worse. Sunday, 28 high and 7 low.
That's why we're going to get it going
7
tomorrow.
Ooh.
Tomorrow is the day.
Yeah.
So.
And then it's going to take 3 days to warm up again.
My American car is metric. They all, I don't know what to talk about.
Oh, why one American car is metric? Oh yeah, your Valiants are not American, are they? They're Australian. Tavo, even my mowers are SAE. Really? Oh, because you selling American mowers? Yeah, I work with every kind of Brent there is. Oh, and then when somebody like some Brit gives me a hard time, yeah, it's because of you that I have to have what are those goofy wrenches that they had? Another name I can't pull up. Yeah, old Briggs Strattons. Yeah, those are all SAE. What I don't like is when people call SAE standard. They go, is it standard? It depends on where you are, I guess. Is it SAE or is it metric? Yeah, British Army officer. That's the one I should do the short on.
There you go. Let's do it.
Let's do the short tonight on the British Army officer.
We'll get you a big old wrench, like something with a lot of character that you can hold, and then you can say the thing, because you can do it in under a minute.
I know I can do that in 20 seconds probably. The cars started going metric in the 80s. They started going metric in 1977 year model, which is late in 1976. And you can tell that everything metric on a GM car that's a 1977, 78, 79 model, somewhere in there, the bolts all had a bluish gray. I don't think it was paint because it didn't come off. It was coated somehow that they were bluish gray, and anything that was black was SAE. And they did that for quite a few years until the whole car was metric, and then the blue went away. But I clearly remember the 1977 model year because I was working on cars every day. And what I didn't like about when we went metric was, you know, the Japanese stuff or Asian stuff was uh, basically the normal sizes on cars were like 10, 12, 14, 17, 19. And European were 10, 13, 17, 19. So the Europeans had used 13s and the Japanese used 12s and 14s. But generally they were the same. Well, Americans came out and they were using like 15s and 16s and 9s. And it's like, come on, why can't you just do it like what everybody else did? But that's okay. Because a lot of the wrench sets didn't include those sizes. So I had to go out and buy separate ones. But I almost think the engineers were trying to rebel against it. But I don't know. Uh, yeah, Tavo says you refer to SAE's Imperial. Yeah, but I see Imperial like Imperial gallons or something are different than American gallons. KJ Guiley says fractional. Yeah, although like I have inches that are not fractional, that are thousands. Imperial can be a little different from SAE Tavo. Most noticeably in column. And volumes. Yes. Oh, you did something that made some pink on the there again. It seems to be working. I don't know. The later builds of our last model Valiant had metric body bolts and SAE mechanicals. Those examples were built by Mitsubishi after they bought out Chrysler Australia. Also, I find it weird that they had such a hard time about giving American car dudes a chance to buy more tools. Yeah, Patrick says, Kim is done. So am I. Kim did all the work. Yeah, I know.
No, that's not true. His job is to stream. He entertains you guys. His job is to be an entertainer.
And when she says I need help, I'll jump up there and help.
Right. I can't do it alone, but I don't need a lot of help. But if he ignores the stream, then there's no reason for it to be here. So his job is he's retired from mechanical work. He's an entertainer. Now he's gonna get some.
I'm gonna bring
he's
my
gonna
Ford
get some
in
work
here.
working on his Fox body, and I'll be sitting here, and we'll all be having a chat, and he'll be working for a change. But he'll keep calling me over for help, and that's okay because we're a team.
They used metric and early torque says to try to make people go to dealers. I don't know about that. I mean, it's pretty easy to go buy a set of metric wrenches and torques. They're everywhere, and even the cheap stuff, they're everywhere. Yeah, I don't know. Where they really got you go to dealers is with all these, 15, 16, 17 modules all talking to each other on a CAN bus, and people just throw their arms up in the air. Yep. And when the code readers are just little cheap code readers that just give you a code rather than a real reader that'll show you everything. But those things are $6,000-$7,000. Oh man, Kim just took a walk. The rain. Sears. Heck with you, GM. We're making the Torx drivers. Well, there's all kinds of things that looks like uh, Torx drivers. There's the Torx and there's the whatever they call them, the triple triangle things or triple whatever those things are. There's about 4 or 5 different ones that kind of look like Torx that aren't. They don't fit the same. So you got to really know what you're doing there. But I don't know. To me, it's like I said, when you're earlier, I was talking about if you're a mechanic, you're going to be buying tools your whole life, your whole career. You're going to be buying tools. There's going to be changes and new stuff and new fasteners and new special tools. And GM tried to patent the Torx head. Sears had to contest that. See, I didn't know they tried to patent it. I mean, they're on everything. Although my transit fan is about half Torx, 20% Phillips head, and the rest conventional hex nuts and bolts. Yeah, inverted torques, and then spline wrenches. Well, inverted torques, doesn't that work with a 12 point socket? I think, I'm not sure. Man, I don't know. It's all whatever works, I guess.
They're not the same.
Oh, right. Kim's over there hammering. That's what the racket is.
Sorry, I'm making firewood.
Yeah, maybe I've been lucky using 12 points on 12 points on inverted torques.
If the equipment's not all rusty or anything.
Yeah, Tavo says E-torque's not quite the same as 12 point.
Probably fits in one direction and not the other, I'll bet.
I can't talk over the hammering.
I'm nearly there. I got one more to do.
One more. Buff, did they use clutch drive on planes? Clutch drive. What's a clutch drive? There I go. What's a clutch drive? Maybe we called it something else. Is that it? Or, oh, nope.
I gotta get this one busted up. No. There. That's it.
I think she got it.
Done.
I'm trying to think of what a clutch drive is. Clutch drive. Mrs. One-Eyed Cat, good night, all. Get my laundry done. Okay, thanks for being here. We're probably close, but thanks for hanging out with us for a while. I have the same transit, Tavo. It's a hoot. Cologne plant couldn't go to torques quick enough. All the Cologne V6s, all the Belgian Fords, and then the special screws. Oh yeah, at the time, they tried to make the tools proprietary, but it was a big deal when Sears made some anyway, and GM sued and lost. See, I didn't even follow that. KJ Kylie shaped like a butterfly. Oh, those things. You know, we had things that looked kind of like a Phillips, but they were offset a little bit, and they were 3 blades. I don't remember what they called those things. I know the things you mean, the clutch ones. I don't remember seeing those, but I remember seeing some weird fasteners. I remember seeing ones that were Phillips looking, except they were offset, kind of like a swastika without the tail on them. They were kind of a weird looking thing. I don't know what those were called. Uh, part of our fleet vehicles at work. Tavo, I had to buy a set of E-torques to change the flywheel in the transit van. I was trying to remember why I own a set. Dean Stevenson, don't fold the whiteware, Wendy. Holly Carbs had some. Oh, yes. I forgot about that. I knew I'd seen him somewhere. What are you doing, packing that thing up?
Yeah, a little bit.
Iron Butterfly. Clutch. What's the one called that looks like a Phillips, except they're offset? They're all offset a little bit. So instead of being straight across, they're like this. And they look kind of like a Phillips. I don't remember what those are called. And then there's ones that look just like that, but they're 3. It's like a 3-blade thing, like an offset Phillips. Old Phillips power tools had the triangle head. I know, like on airplane wings, you'll see, like in an airliner, I'll look out on the wing and I'll see fasteners. Of course, I don't know how many people sit at the window so they can look at the fasteners on a wing. But man, I did this funked up. I did this Oh, Reed and Prince. Oh, I remember that name, but I can't place which one that is. Uh, I did this wing and we did some load tests on it. This is back in the before the film days. It was in the film days before the digital camera days. And I had a camera mounted on a wing and I could take pictures, go up and dive and then pull the nose up, pull 2Gs and then pull 3Gs and pull 4Gs and click a picture when I had 4Gs. I did that up to 4.5 Gs on this airplane. And then we're looking at the rivet lines going down from the end of the wing going down the spar line. And I could see the sheet metal start to buckle up between the rivets. And I didn't really like that. And so on that particular wing, I spaced the rivets closer together, and I put thicker material in the center of the wing because the load in the center is a lot more, and that upper wing skin is in compression, so you got to hold it from doing that. Well, then I was in an airplane. It was a Embraer, yeah, they're turboprop. What's that? Embraer Brasilia, and we were descending down in the Los Angeles area, and the guy did a pretty good steep turn, and we're rolling through that turn. I'm looking at the wing, and the whole spar line went whoop like this all the way down between all the rivets. And I was looking at that, and I thought, we're probably pulling like 1.2 Gs, something like that. Probably not a lot, and I guess that's okay because this is a certified airliner, and and I guess that's acceptable. But on the planes I didn't want that there. So, and I did the testing up to 4.5 Gs and made sure it didn't do that. So, yeah, I probably put the rivets too close, the material a little thicker than we needed, but I didn't like that. So,
Yeah, but how many of your planes have come apart because they were
none,
right?
none.
Exactly.
But
there's a man who knows how to get it done.
But no Embraer Brasilias ever came apart in the air. Well, one did, but it was a maintenance error. The fasteners were left out of part of the tail. But looking at wings, I remember seeing those three. They look like Phillips, but they have three things. I think we have commercials coming in. Yep, ads.
Well, oh shoot. Okay, 22 main types of screw heads video.
23.
What we should do, right, is you get one of those big bonus sets that has all of them and try and find a fastener that each one actually fits to.
KJ Kylie. Kim has that good night look. Yep, she just packed those wood stove full of wood. How was it really like you usually do it at night? You got it really packed.
I could have put more in there, but I didn't want to make the noise of chopping more wood.
And see what happens when you do that. It doesn't burn real hot, but it burns real long. So that's the goal.
Yeah, right. I just want to keep it simmering so that we can get so that the stove stays hot, a little hot. I mean, it goes down into the yellow range, and you really wanted the top of yellow range to heat. It maintains a little bit of heat in here, but there's also a nice bed of coals. When I open it up, there's always coals, and then I can stick more wood on top, and it stays burning.
Well, and if it isn't freezing cold outside, like below freezing temperatures, like tonight it won't be, it stays 60 in here, something like that. So it's pretty nice when you come up here in the daytime.
You play hooky and go look at reference manuals.
Dean says we
are a unique crowd, I'll tell you that.
We are right beside an engineering supply house. I play hooky and go look at reference manuals at lunchtime. sounds like something I do at lunchtime, looking at reference manuals.
But of course,
everybody else in the building's outside smoking their cigarettes, so I'm there looking at reference manuals, studying pictures of strange fasteners.
I still have to get a short out of him for tomorrow.
Oh, geez, I forgot about the short.
I told you 3 times, and
I know, but I keep forgetting. So, okay, so we can Wow, did you see that? A moth flew right in front of the screen and went all weird. Okay, so let's do the short in the house because I can tell that story in the house.
You got a wrench?
Oh, I don't know. I got to hold a wrench while I do
It
this.
looks more dramatic if you do it in front of
I
the.
got to have props. I got to have a wrench in my hand.
Yeah. Tell the story in front of the car.
Okay, we'll do it here. We'll do it here.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think you
so
should.
we're done with this. We're done with the live stream.
Yeah. Good night, everybody. We had fun, and we made such good progress on the car. We got all these incidentals
You're
hooked
right.
up,
Kim made good progress on
and
the
I will
car.
make sure that I have the camera set up for our first start thing,
Oh,
and
we'll have another live before our Tuesday night live then.
yeah, because we've got to get this car started before it
Man,
gets cold.
I looked at my email and I have like this many emails with stuff for 1971
Hey, that's
already.
awesome.
Yeah, I
If
got a
you
lot of
guys
pictures. A lot of
are
pictures
planning to
already.
be for the live stream on Tuesday at 7 Central, we're going to, the year that we're going to talk about cars for is 1971. So if you have a favorite, something you don't want us to miss, send an email to buffdelcampo@gmail.com and he will have it. Or you can send it during the live. But that's what we'll be talking about. But we'll definitely be talking about this,
Well, we'll be
and
doing another live before
we're gonna
because
have to do it
we'll do
tomorrow.
it tomorrow when we start this.
Do you
Okay.
want to maybe do one during the afternoon?
I don't know. It depends on
We're
what
gonna
time.
let you know tomorrow.
Well,
I'm
we'll
sorry.
just try to put it up. And I was surprised when we did the one this afternoon. I thought we'd get a bunch of new people and none of our usual uh, contributors, but it was all the people that are usually in here late at night came in at what 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So that kind of surprised me. Huh.
I've decided not to consider the ignorance. Good night, then, everyone. Don't forget the like. But oh, thank you, Olive.
And then
All right.
thank you for all the super chats.
Yeah.
So we'll close with the Studebaker
Thanks
flashing.
for everyone's comments, for hanging out, guys. We really appreciate it. You can't thank you enough. And super chats are amazing. So we'll see you all